This is a production of Darn TV.
Welcome to the Dirt Weekly Friday night edition.
Hello, Friday Night Lights.
There we are.
Woo!
I had some work stuff this week. I had to work late. Actually, I had to work late Wednesday night, Thursday night, and now tonight. I didn't get back until we were supposed to start this at 7, or then I pushed to 8. Now we're at 8:20.
Well, Jordan's been campaigning all season long for later start times.
Yeah.
And now we're under the lights.
Look,
I'm
looking out the curtains. It's race time. The sun's down. The track's wet. Let's go.
The table's got a little tack to it.
It does. It's not water on hard packed. It's gardening. It's in there.
Jeff Barta already checking in. Jeff Barta saying he's ready for a show. I don't know what we have
Jeff.
for you this week, Jeff. I didn't do any much prep work.
We're truly shooting off the cuff. We're 50 hours late from Wednesday.
Yeah.
Plus 2 days and 2 hours. So I'm going to say we're 50 hours late, according to some. This has become a ritual for many, and we're going to have to do a better job at upholding our end. So we're going to practice on that.
Yeah.
So,
But,
where were we?
show rundown is presented by Sebo Motorsports, specializing in high-performance parts and chassis repair. Call Ryan, 701-720-3889 today for all your hot rod and racing needs. Kind of getting down to crunch time, so if you need to now's the time if you want any updates done to your car or body panels, or you want to get on the list for Ryan to maybe put a body on your car. Now's the time to get on that list.
It really is. I've learned personally that I can get more done between now and like Thanksgiving than I get done between Thanksgiving and like Valentine's Day.
Well, I'm thinking Easter.
Because, well, maybe I don't want to sell out my complete story, but I mean, it seems like with weather still being nice and stuff like that, if you got some stuff has to be outside. It ain't in snowbanks yet. It's coming, but not yet. So
It's interesting because
give Ryan a call.
You would think that you as drivers would be resting on your laurels and maybe saving it for next season, but I'm hearing a lot of talk of new cars. Different drivers getting cars and.
Yeah, we're already talking about, stock car. I use the round bodies as I've shared, so we're already finding some core cars and getting ready to get roofs and doors taken off, and we want to rebody some stuff, and we're talking. I don't know that we're doing, but we are talking, and better than not talking.
As an example, bringing out a different car late in the season. Way late.
Yeah. Again, don't let your spring deadlines pass. It turns into
August.
Really quick. So, but yeah, with that said, that car is hopefully a little bit doesn't need the winter overhaul that it got this summer. So,
and imagine all the swapping and trading and dealing that went down at the Super Nationals.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the Super Nationals.
Rumors, all kinds of rumors flying down there of the facility. And I know that they touched a nerve with you guys.
I suppose you weren't watching. Were you watching that night when they were talking about putting the dome over it?
I was.
Actually,
I wasn't watching. I only caught the little bit we had here last week. But
where's the CNN breaking news?
As I screamed, that's our idea.
So it's official. I mean, they made it Facebook official. They put a story out there and everything. They're adding a second track to Boone. They're going to do Boone 2 just on the backside where the campground is.
That's wild.
Simultaneously, is this? I mean, we're gonna have two things going on at one time, or?
It started out as a joke that
I seen the title, but I didn't.
Jerry and Ryan weren't getting along, so it started out as a joke that Jerry and Ryan they needed to be separated, so they built another track for one of them, so that way one was on this one was on that one, and then it turned into a tunnel going underneath, so that way Wade, the Aussie.
Yeah.
He can go back and forth without anybody hindering him, so he can just run back to one victory lane to the other, to the other, to the other. And then the dome idea, the canopy, so that way weather didn't affect Boone 2.
It's a great idea. Well,
It is a great idea.
You've been campaigning also.
I thought we were crazy dreamers. There's more than just us.
Oh,
So if you got 2 tracks, you've been talking a lot this season about setting a track up for, what was it, the hobbies and the sport mods.
Oh, yeah.
And
a
then
stock suspension track
and then
Yep.
and a J-bar track.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So if you think they're not listening, hey, they're like, well, I like what
Greg,
Darren's
you're
saying.
fine-tuning it already. I like it. I can barely keep up.
So you imagine all your years down there at
On
Super
and off the
Nationals.
track.
All your years down there. Now they're going to add a second track, and you're thinking to yourself, or I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm in heat race number 26 on track number 1, and then shortly thereafter I'm going to be in B main number 4, whatever, on track number 2.
I'm following. Ooh. You need a personal attendant.
I'm just letting you guys know right now that this is totally false, and they're not actually going to do it. But can you imagine? A race director can't even get drivers to line up for a double file restart half the time. Now we're going to have to figure out what track they're going to race on.
Hold on. You're telling me it's not true about the second track?
It is not true. It's a
Man, did I bite on that?
it's a farce.
Well, they had me.
Well,
I was liking it. Watching it from the drone
some will
footage.
say the same about our dome, but it just hasn't taken off yet.
What about all that farmland that they got just off?
Yeah.
That seems completely wasted.
Well, somebody's farming it.
Well, I know, but man.
Lottie doesn't own it, I'm guessing. I mean, he only owns what you see that has the overhead on it.
Well, this is where I'm at. We got to go township meetings. That's where it starts.
Your guys'
got to go to township.
Your guys'
meetings,
coined
so.
phrase for the betterment of the show: acquire the farmland.
2 tracks under a dome. Woo.
Well, then I seen
Man.
something on Facebook that they were going to run.
I'm
and
so
this,
short on dreaming. I'm so short.
This is kind of a play on nicknames for classes, So they were going to run stocks and B mods and what's another one that they call like a
Street stocks.
bomber. They're
Oh,
not
I
saying
see.
they're some people and it drives me nuts too. The IMCA classes are an IMCA modified, an IMCA stock car, an IMCA sport mod, and an IMCA hobby stock, and a sport compact. Those are the 5 classes. They're not stocks. Hey, stocks to the track, stocks. Let's get lined up. What are you talking about?
They're not
hobby
street stocks.
What do they're not IMCA street
They're not
stocks.
bombers.
They're not IMCA B mods. They're not bombers. It's just one of them. They were kind of playing on that and said they were going to put all the classes, all the the nickname classes,
The nickname classes.
on
I see.
one track, and then the IMCA
On the
class.
redneck track.
Yep. Yep. Somebody out there is probably going, I call them iStocks or I call them B mods.
That's me. You slapped me in the nose about that one time. I was talking about Jordan's class.
I call modifieds A mods. But
Well,
I just want to make sure we know which ones we're talking about. So
right.
But anyway, Super Nationals were rocking cool, and you're watching that.
Wow.
A lot of names we recognize. They come up here for the tour.
Yeah. Well, yeah. To go off of that, there. I mean, wow. The tour names were the Super National runners. I mean,
And actually, the one fella, Cody Laney, ran great. Ran second in the big dance.
Yep.
Struggled up here.
Yeah. That would have been actually. Because I think I remembered saying that he'd be one to watch during the tour, and he just didn't materialize. Him and Strickler had that deal in Jamestown right off the bat, and it seemed like it never relit. But again, at Super Nationals, he showed that he is what he is, and he's good.
Jerry Filippo.
Yes, I saw Filippo made it too.
Yeah.
So
he must have had that car worked over before the Super Nationals because it was straight and shiny and colorful.
Some guys put new bodies on for that stuff.
Well, and a lot of times they have they'll have some kind of theme that you can chase for maybe best appearing stuff and whatnot.
Joel Rust had a really good looking.
Yeah.
Well, so I think Joel Rust was one of the Salute to Veterans cars. I think there's a handful of them Salute to Veteran cars every year.
I think every year they do have a veterans type of format, and then sometimes there'll be another theme. Disney characters, things like that in the past. I know that when I was there, there'd be different themes. So.
Yeah, but you're right. Tim Ward won the tour,
won
the Super Nationals. Cody Laney was up here on tour. Second in the tour was the Hart Charger. Travis Hagen started 30th or
33rd.
Yeah,
made it to 14th.
made it to 14th. He was the hard charger.
Yeah.
Great showing by Travis Hagen down there to represent local.
I really thought that, and although we thought maybe Travis was going to make it in the first night, missed it by a couple of spots, and of course that draw where you start, are you on a freshly farm track? So many variables. But what I want to go on record saying with Travis is that his never quit presentation was his presentation at Super Nationals, because even though he was the last one to make it in, he made it the farthest, and that's what Travis is. I mean, just always looking for a little bit of speed and a little bit of position, and again, just really proud of our guys, proud of Travis. So.
That must mean Nodak is set up a little bit like Boone, because straight from there, 3 nights in a row, runs down there, and it fit.
Yeah.
Made a late decision to make the trip down there. I'm guessing he thinks it's a probably good decision. Hopefully he does.
Yeah.
Put on
So what about this? Mark Dahl, Sean Strand, they had that stock car.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the manufacturer of that? JGR?
Jordan Gabrowski Racing, but it's a DeVilbiss car.
Right. So what I'm thinking is, when you're successful and you got your program rolling, opportunities arise to you where manufacturers of chassis come to you and say, hey, fella, see what you can do with this. I wonder, like you said, Travis going down there, obviously making a name for himself, if some guys went over and said, hey, let's maybe try this.
I don't think he's outgoing enough.
No.
I think you have to be wired a certain way to put yourself out there to maybe make that initial contact with chassis builder.
If you want to sell yourself type of deal.
Sell yourself a little bit.
I'm just reflecting, and again, it's our opinions, of course, but I see Travis as very content with the equipment that he has and very comfortable with how he tunes it and drives it, and at the same time, it keeps him in a non-pressure situation. But maybe someday, somewhere, I know that we reflected a lot of times he has albeit a rage car, but maybe an older one than most, so that seems to be his niche, to be able to do something with a 5-plus-year-old car where everybody else is really wanting to stay current with fresher stuff. So
there was a hobby driver, and they were interviewing him. Young man, he looked younger than Max. And a manufacturer gave him their house car, and they were very proud to say, here you go, run with this, show me what you can do with it.
I think it was Pace Herrera, wasn't it?
Name escapes me, but...
Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure who it was. I
see Pace had his deal down there, the 7-Eleven cars, so I'm not sure on that deal. But I guess your point is that if you got a little bit of a resume in your back pocket, I mean, that's the place to go introduce, and different manufacturers kind of size you up on what they see and hear your presentation, and definitely relationships can be made at Boone. There's no doubt about it.
I am gonna put something out there though. I don't care what kind of ride it is and what somebody's offering you. There ain't nothing in the racing world that's free.
That's been my experience.
There's going to be money spent somewhere.
There might be discounts. I've never had it free.
There is nothing in the racing world that's free. You're going to spend money at some point in time, somewhere.
It sure seems like it. I mean, maybe Tim Ward's got some free stuff coming off of this year, but it won't last forever. So, my experience. So,
since we're right here watching the big dance, right? And right after the dance, this is really, really cool, and maybe you want to talk about this later, but afterwards, they auction off the motors of all the classes, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's what I found.
That's a tradition.
Yep.
They do every year.
Yeah.
And you would think, if logic makes sense, entry level class, the hobbies, right, that motor is going to go relatively cheaper than the mod, right?
Yeah.
Tim Ward's $5,900. His crate. That's what his motor went for.
604 crate, which you can pick up brand new for $9,000 or whatever, $9,000 to $10,000 if you want a dyno or whatever. And I heard he had quite a few nights on it. I wasn't sure how many nights he had on it, but I heard there were some serious nights on it.
The hobby, $10,000.
Because
it was a built motor.
Built motor.
I followed some of the comments, if you will, because there was a lot of surprise to that, and a little bit of the stuff I was following.
And the dude that bought it, he was as proud as a peacock. He's like, putting that in my Harley.
I apologize. I didn't get a lot of time to watch footage, but it sounded like the car was quite dominant. Of course, Yeah, not one part of the car can solely carry the whole operation. It's got to be driven, it's got to handle, right, and it's got all that there too. But it sounded like the motor was significantly stronger than most. So, but at any rate, the
within the rules, it had to be.
Well, I mean, it certainly was.
It passed tech to get there.
Yeah, there was some pretty rigid teching going on. So I'm confident that it was in fact legal. And with that said, it would be a compression rule and a cubic inch rule, and then a spec head rule. So. But the message was in the talk that I had read was that they were eager to see what was in it for a camshaft. So some people are saying, well, he bought a $10,000 camshaft. I can tell you this because based on how strong the car was, that information in the right shop can be a business. I mean,
well, so I was going to go there.
Yes, he paid too much for the motor in our eyes. But if he learns something about a camshaft build or something that he can reproduce and make a dozen fast hobby stockers,
the viewers are going to get a joy out of this here. Okay, Jordan.
So I want to know what the cam is.
Here's where I was going. So you're the engine builder.
Are you saying that this camshaft could be something that is a 1 in a million thing, or it's not an Edelbrock Performer cam off the shelf?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That is
what
I'm saying.
So I'm down at Super Nationals. Jordan's my engine builder.
I'm confident. Yeah, okay.
Okay, Jordan's my engine builder. I'm down at Super Nationals. Hobby stock motor goes up for sale. Dominant motor again. I'm not saying it's Mike Smith. It might be Joe Blow. Who knows?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I pay $10,000 for it. I bring that motor home. I drop it off in your shop. What are the chances you can duplicate that motor? If I just drop it off, say, Jordan, I just paid $10,000 for this. Let's build another one.
Well, a lot higher than if I don't have the motor. Well, I mean, there'll be a chance to inspect and try to understand what's going on there. People that know me, I'm always saying I want to use smaller duration camshafts. I want to use smaller duration camshafts, and everyone says, "Well, that's not what everybody else is doing." Well, that's what I want to do because I like a crate motor. I think they're very more responsive. So my thinking goes to that I think it's probably a very small duration camshaft. And I would like to know more about that. I mean, if somebody wanted to just talk about it and they bought it.
So if they buy the motor,
I want to listen.
What are they getting? Are they getting the intake? Are they getting the carb?
Yes.
They're getting everything.
They're not the carburetor. They're getting the intake to the oil pan, harmonic balancer with the flex plate. Everything contained in
distributor?
There. So, not the distributor. Not the carburetor, not the distributor.
No water pump.
No water pump. Pretty much how you buy a crate motor is how you would get it, although a 602 does come with that stuff. The way a 604 looks, which is an intake to pan and balancer to, I don't know if that has flex plate on it or not. I think it does. And the reason the flex plate goes with is because at a time when it didn't, people would balance it differently with a different flex plate, and then the receiver of that claimed motor would have a shaker. So
where does that $10,000 go? Does that go to the driver that won?
No.
No.
It goes to second through. They split that $10,000 up equally between second place and last place. So I think in the hobby stocks, everybody got $200 and some dollars or whatever.
Yeah, and it goes from second place through the tail end.
Through the tail end.
So the driver doesn't get any.
I don't believe he gets anything.
I don't think he gets anything.
Yeah. He gets the laurels of winning. And
all the
the
contingency prizes that they piled on top of the car. Plus, I believe he gets a crate motor.
I think they do get a replacement motor. Now, in my heydays of going there, you went home empty.
Right.
And that was just the way it was. But I know that Midstate is making the motor for the stock car motor. And I believe that the crate motors are for the other classes.
Yep.
So is it safe to say that Tim went home with a new crate?
604
He
crate.
did go. Okay. So
you're going home with a motor.
I mean, that's a pretty sweet deal. Certainly, throughout time, we've seen that some of those crate motors have been cheated up a little bit, but obviously anybody going to Super Nationals is not going to bring that
just so they pump and whistle the crate motors the same as they do the open motors down there.
Okay.
The built motors. I've been through that tech, and I've had Andy Beckman was on this side of me, and he was getting pumped and whistled, and I was on this side, and I was getting pumped and whistled at the same exact time. And he had an open motor. The only difference is they took his heads off and they set him on the bench in between there. And I looked over and I go, I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
So if you're leading and you're taking the white, you got to know what you got under the hood. if you're playing within the rules or if you're not playing within the rules, because there's no benefit to win in that race if you're not legal.
If you're not going to receive the
deal is, though, they've already been teched going into this race.
Yeah.
You're not getting teched. When that checkered flag goes over, if you notice, Mike Smith's car never left the infield. That car got pushed over. It never got drove from victory lane. It got pushed off the stage, pushed over to, I think.
It never got out of sight.
It was never out of sight.
So if the guy that buys it takes it back to his shop, opens up and says, whoa, this thing is completely crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. No ramifications could be taken at that point.
No. Once everything leaves the ground, it's as is, where is. But, and again, some great questions here. Now, when you get teched, let's say you qualified through your heat or whatever, and you go to tech tent that night. They pump in cubic inch, as they say. Well, then they seal your open motor. They've got a couple of intake bolts with holes in it when I was there, and you would put those in, and then they would have a wire that goes through and a lead clamp, kind of like your water meter has on it at home. So then, and that's a tamper-proof deal, or at least we believe it is. So then they make sure that that's on there. So they know it's still the same motor, even though you took it back to your trailer and went back to town or whatever you did. So, as Brandon said, the teching was done prior to those features. Because there was a little bit of criticism about that, and people were saying, well, they could have did this, and that, and they're like, no, they couldn't. And I've been there many times, and really you can't. I mean, the things that matter, they've got their thumb on. I mean, IMCA's thorough. Our own Mark and Davey from Estevan went down there, so I mean, they got tuned up, and they're sharp anyway, and they went down there to become even more sharp. Post-COVID things.
They mark
interpretations.
They mark your motor. I've been through it twice, and they mark your motor with a wax pencil. They mark everything. Like they got that, and that stays there. Shoot, I think that one motor we have still has the markings on it from when we were down there. They mark it to where we know that this motor, this intake, this everything was here.
Yep. The first year that I made it in, I had the 2 bolts and the wire and the lead seal also. So, yeah. But no, those are great questions because it sure seems like, man, this thing gets out of sight and, we're going to do this or that. So, I'm confident in this discussion anyway that everything was 100% legal. And certainly, they're saying, well, the thing had 47 nights on it. And that's always the guy. In reflecting back to claim nights, nobody ever got a new motor. They got plenty of them. It just comes with the terrain. So not every motor can have 40-some nights on it. Somewhere along the line, they have to have the first, second, and third night on them. I personally, going to Boone, I would want a motor that has about 2-3 nights on it that I know is all sorted out, doesn't have any head gasket issues. That's what I would personally take because I don't want to have any problems while I'm there. So I think everybody goes there with a good motor. I mean, you want to go with one that's been good to you, been reliable, doesn't break rock arms, doesn't bend push rods, or whatever the case may be that's ailed you on some other stuff. If you have one that's good to you, that's the one you want to bring to Boone because you just don't need any distraction with it.
Another takeaway that I got from Boone and just racing in general, just like you experienced up in Estevan, winning that A main and then going into your heat race and suffering tragedy. Dylan Thornton, he goes and wins the big dance in the stock cars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just got to be feeling like a king.
Yeah.
Well, the mod deal got a little nuts. Going from that, and I think he got sent to the back.
The ultimate joys, the ultimate. Yeah.
He was not. Was it Ferrara? Is that who the fellow that finished?
Ferrando.
Yeah,
Ferrando.
he wasn't happy with him.
But he wasn't happy with who else was he racing against that he wasn't happy with. There was a whole Colin Hibden. There was a whole bunch of slicing and dicing and drama, and then they interviewed Gray Ferrando after the race, and I'm going to race the people the way they race me, and you need some of that. You need some of that excitement.
What can they say? I mean, at the end of the day, it's not a very big racetrack, and there's 33 A-mods on there.
I'm going to tell you right now.
It's a busy place.
The quote of the week for me was David Smith in that IMCA stock car
Race of
Champions
All-Star
that said everybody here should be embarrassed this week for the way that we've been driving race cars. I agree because we watched it here while we were on the show last week, and then I continued to watch through the weekend, and it, man, what are they tearing up stuff.
Adam reflected on that too. He says, oof, he felt fortunate. He got out of there with what he felt was.
Yeah.
He said normal wheel damage. He said, but only one bent ball joint. I said, man, that sounds pretty good to me. So
that's a win in the Boone game.
Well, it's fortunate that third place driver was able to continue or get third place after getting dumped and spun around and nothing got tweaked or bent. What's that pay?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a Boone Super Nationals
pay off forever. There's just so much prestige in winning it that
you're not racing for money down there. You're going down to be there's minor accomplishments through the week.
Yeah.
The first accomplishment, winning a heat race, because winning a heat race down there is almost like winning a feature up here.
Maybe more.
Yeah. Number 2, once you win the heat race, making the show on Saturday night. You know, those are
right. Those are 30-car fields, and they take the top 4. And they have 2 of them nights. So
you make the Saturday night program. If you're racing Saturday night, that is as far as I'm concerned, the same as a
25 feature wins.
Yes.
I mean, it's a gigantic accomplishment. Maybe a 50. I mean, it's huge.
In the modified and the stock car deal, you guys have them all-star races. Them are probably right up there with the Super Nationals winning. Winning.
Well, like you say, certainly the A feature would be the ultimate pleasure. Yep. But after that, I mean, on stage would be the Race of Champions and the All-Star stuff. I mean, that's
so Colin Hibden got 4th
podium stuff there. So
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Are we considering him from North Dakota?
He's from over the hump in Pahrump.
Technically. But he's got an Eldorado, and that's Fargo, so I'm going to say...
Yeah, he's North Dakota. Let's call him North Dakota.
He's as North Dakota as Tom Berry.
I just like saying over the hump in Pahrump.
Yeah, so does my dad. So, yeah, again, good North Dakota representation. From the hobbies, I thought Kyler put on, again, what Kyler done all year long there. I mean, he put on a always prepared race car presentation. Come up a little bit short, but that's no dig on him. I mean, that's a tough place.
He was in some wrong places at the wrong time.
Yeah.
He got better as the week went on.
Yeah.
And that's all you can ask. By the end of Tuesday, he was in the races where he needed to be, just not in the right place.
Kind of like we touched on Travis. I mean, he was fast enough, and then all of a sudden trying to get back in there again, his fortune just wasn't in all the right places. He got there, but
there has to be
a
degree of wow factor for Kyler going in there and just seeing this grandiose event. And maybe confidence isn't great just yet to say, man, I can run with these boys. Where Travis, he probably has the confidence.
Been there before.
That is an issue.
Yeah.
Let's do this, and I can just concentrate. And like you said, after he was there a while, the confidence grew. The newness wore off.
You've never raced on a racetrack like Boone Speedway. I don't care
everything about it.
Everything about it.
The track itself, the black dirt itself, the bank itself,
the facility,
the smallness of it.
The flagman hanging over a concrete wall right on top of you as you go down the front straightaway.
Ain't been knocked out of it 4 times. So
yeah,
I mean,
the big opening coming out of turn 2. You get too high out of 2. There's a big concrete wall. There's an opening. You're gonna hit something right there, and then
wall
going
on each straightaway.
Yeah, racing there. You cannot prepare yourself.
It seems Martinsville-ish, really.
Oh yeah,
and that kind of what seems to lend itself to the car pushing and leaning into other people.
If
naturally, let alone on purpose.
If anybody,
that's David Smith's interview.
Yeah. If anybody took the time to watch any part of the broadcast or the replay, when they had that drone right above them cars, and you were following them around, they followed them around sometimes for 2 or 3 laps, and you seen the movement going back and forth, high back, they'd meet up on the straightaway. That told you how close a quarters that racing is out there. And I kind of got some grief, or I didn't get some grief. We talked about leaving a lane up in Estevan on my deal. Leave a lane.
Yeah, if they're running high, and when they probably are, you got to leave a lane.
Well, down there, they don't leave a lane either.
Yeah.
But they're also not lifting. They don't care if it's just a 1/4 inch of that front bumper is on your rear bumper. They're sticking her in there, and they're going because you get one. This might be their only shot.
And the administration, they don't wait for you. If you spin out, they're not very happy with that yellow flag. They're going.
Well, they're giving you a chance to go, because if you're stopped there,
you're gone.
You're going to the pits. If you stop to avoid the accident, you aren't in it or anything. You're out. When they decide the yellow's pulled, whatever isn't moving goes to the pits. Whether you're involved or not involved in the accident.
That happened to Kyler. Like
Yeah.
you mentioned, he got tattooed. The yellow came out. I'm like, okay, well, they'll stack him and rack him. And Kyler, and on to the next heat. I'm like, hey, man.
Yeah, it's cold like that. And that's what I meant on a previous show when I said if we had Boone rules here weekly, we wouldn't survive 3 weeks, and that's one of them.
Right.
I mean, if you took a guy out up here that was not part of the accident, oh my God, you'd have a riot. So
We have some
for
Boone,
good reason.
some Boone racers that jumped on here and said hi. Levi Runge.
Hi, Levi.
Probably didn't have the Boone that he wanted. Made improvements, though, just like Kyler did.
Lifetime experience.
Yep.
He'll talk about it forever.
And then the old howitzer, Connor Hansen, is checking in here, too.
Yeah.
So
I see Bombardo was giving him a happy birthday today. So
yeah, happy birthday, Connor. You only missed Max's birthday by a day.
The Tougher Than Connor tour.
It's coming up. I sent the logo to the T-shirt guy.
Well, since Levi and Connor are watching, we should work on our our Canadian accents because they get talking, and it's just I love it,
Yeah. Well,
I'm not going to work on one. I got a North Dakota accent. We're just
we'll
gonna
go to
roll
the
with it.
banquet. I can bring you with if you want to go. So
Levi, your mod is running really good.
You mod. I do have to get a shout out. You brought up Bombardo.
Hard charger.
Hard charger in the hobby stocks, tougher
Yeah.
than Dirt Tour champion.
he was
Proud
having a tough week. I mean, he was down in the dumps the night before.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
the
bent-
bent frame, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And again, it's a hair between a great time and a bad time and back to a great time. I mean, and he was an example of it. He was ready to go home, and then he comes back and qualifies for the big dance, gets hard charger. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, wow. Always stay looking ahead. Always be hopeful.
So somewhere in the Boone area, there was a unicorn head waiting to come on out.
There was.
Yeah, I think it was in the passenger seat because he was ready on the last day. So
Yeah,
right.
proud of him. It's one of them deals when you put on the Tougher Than Dirt Tour, when Bombardo goes down there, even Connor and Levi, they represent a part of me, I just feel like. So proud of what they did, every one of them down there. Keith Maddox chiming in. He was down there racing.
Keith was down there, yeah. Saw that there, and he actually was able to make it back and run in Dickinson, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, ran one night in Dickinson. Him and Luke Krogh came and ran just the one night. Adam Goff checking in.
Hi, Adam.
Adam ain't spinning out on the TV tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Sorry about that, Adam. We weren't picking on you per se. It just that's what was on when we looked up at the TV. Heard you bringing Harper back, so drive safe. We got to go to Williston tomorrow, remember? So
I'm leaving the store yesterday and walking underneath the gas station, and there's this really hot-looking Genesis car. Don't see those very often.
I thought he was going with Jenny.
yeah, whoa.
Hot-looking Jenny.
Jesus.
I don't know how that would have gone over.
What's she doing when you're out in the Stanley?
And I say to the
I
guy,
thought she was at Ryan.
I said, where do you get this thing serviced? Because it's not a Genesis dealership around. He says, Dynamic Auto. I said,
Yeah.
oh, really? Yeah. He says, yeah, Adam takes care of this hot rod.
Adam and Tyler tuning things up.
Yeah.
They're the go-to. It ain't working
They
for
work on
anybody else.
everything.
They'll tell you what's wrong with it. You might not want to hear it, but they'll tell you what's wrong with it. So
They put brakes on my work pickup out here, so tough trucks and
I was in there when they were doing it. So
yeah.
they do a good job.
On the racing recap, I think we've touched on Boone. What else? Do we have anything else on Boone? I mean, Brock had a week that he would like to forget. He was just here a little while ago before we started the show, but he would tell you he had a week that he would like to forget.
Yeah. Well, and yeah.
He'd
been there before, and if you go to Boone enough, you'll have years that you're wondering what you were thinking, and then you'll have years that are pretty fantastic.
He added up his laps for the whole week. It was 42 laps. He raced 42 laps in the matter of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That is not very many laps when you look at it.
Well, you were even guessing less because you said he probably hadn't done 20 laps
Right.
that week. So he done twice that. So
I'm into food. I'm in the business of food, and I
Yeah.
love the cheeseburgers, obviously, at McLean County. Main reason I go,
That's
but
awesome.
all they talk about at Boone are them steak sandwiches.
Would you like me to make you some steak sandwiches?
I would like to know about these.
I'm kind of a connoisseur at
Yeah, yeah. Brandon does have it down to an art. As you say, it's how you cut the meat.
It's how you cut the meat.
So
There's this girl that was.
So we can repo them up here. And
she's in the
reproduce 'em
pits,
up here.
and her job was washing cars, signing up to wash drivers. And initially, she started just to get some steak sandwiches. And they said, and this is a dainty gal. And they said, what's the most you've eaten? And I think she said 7. I'm into these steak sandwiches, and I've never even had one. Hold on. Let me.
Brandon had them at the banquet one year.
I've had them 3 years in a row.
Has it been that many?
Let me pause on that and do my Jordan impression. I'm interested.
They've been the.
gotta go to the banquet.
We've gotten the buns from you guys the last few years, but I've cooked steak sandwiches. Boone, I call them Boone-style steak sandwiches. They're the thin cut. Throw them in a little au jus. People come through the line and they throw them on a bun and eat them up. They've been pretty good the last few years. I mean, kind of gives people a treat. I stole it from Boone. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Maybe next year at the Hall of Fame, we're
giving
doing
them
steak
credit.
sandwiches.
I'll totally. You tell me when to cook them, and I'll bring the grill and the meat, and we'll cook them. I cooked them for our safety meeting on Wednesday. I had a morning safety meeting and a night safety meeting
It's
on
your
Wednesday.
go-to.
Well, I don't do it often. It's quite expensive. But I cooked them for my truck drivers, and then I may or may not have had an extra pack with about 20 of them in it that ended up in my freezer? At home.
It sounds like a party for 3 guys.
If you don't park in the middle and you come out by us, my plan with them steak sandwiches was Mandan Oktoberfest.
Well, I got a 4-wheeler. Let's see what.
Are
see
you
where
going?
Joey Bar parks me. So
You're going to
October?
Oktoberfest?
Yes, we'll be there.
Are you?
I am.
Well, then.
Well, I'm kind of a fair weather racer, but I'm confident the weather's going to hang out for a while here.
I hope so.
So I'm
hope
a little bit cool right now. We're blaming smoke for that deal right at the moment. So, heck, the forecast in Williston is like 85 on Sunday.
Looks good. Early start time might hinder that a little bit.
Yeah.
But
See, don't get me started.
I'm telling you, I was begging for an early start time in Dickinson on Sunday. Nothing to do with weather. I just wanted to get home before 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. But
it's a track prep nightmare.
yeah.
On
to, I guess we'll roll on to Dickinson a little bit here.
Okay.
I have some of the replays queued up. I have the whole broadcast queued up, basically, kind of like what we did last week. We can roll through some
I like
of
it.
I didn't get to watch. Once again, I was racing. Didn't get to watch a whole bunch with my own naked eye.
Yeah.
Just with things. I kind of walked up, watched some laps, and went back. I know what stuck out in my mind was a battle between Frederick and Marlon Seidler on night 1 in the A-Mods that Frederick was able to come out on top.
Yeah.
Which kind of, I think, shocked
First
the
night,
world.
yeah.
Night 1.
Past Marlin.
It looked like the track actually had some grip to it, so
both
that
nights
looked pretty
it did.
exciting. And
Both nights it did.
At the same time, it apparently looked like it caught the modifieds off guard because they were certainly had some push going on in the wheels. I could see. But
car count was rather. This was the start of the sport mod feature, and they ran some extra lap. Well, they did 20 laps here. I think they did 25 on night 2. Speeton out front in the 13. I think he ended up taking this one. Papke in second.
Actually, I think it was the 2 Speetons, 1-2, Papke third.
Third, the
Yeah,
first night.
there's the other Speeton right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, like I said, I didn't get to.
Former legend drivers just hopping it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Drew had some concerns with a motor there, but he must got it all put back together. We talked on the phone a little bit there, and looked like he was able to go down and enjoy the weekend. So
I would say the weekend in a whole probably didn't have a whole bunch of cautions.
So the eye test right here, watching Boone, the same time I'm watching this. This track looks absolutely massive. This looks like Talladega compared to Boone.
It's a fair comparison. Boone is not a very big racetrack. So I used to call it rugby with a little bit more straightaway.
I mean, swooping turns, not tight.
Yeah, these are way big corners compared to Boone.
Yeah, way big corners. And if you can tell, there's moisture up around the top. On night one here, they got some rain, or it was too wet to really go down by the berm on the bottom. As soon as you hit it with your front end, it'd wash up the track. So
Greasy
kind of
deal.
greasy right down in that dark spot. But you can run right on the edge of that where Shotzi's running. And
I see a little bit of color coming in there, but at the same time, I know it's moist above that, just the way the cars are catching it. So.
1 and 2 seem treacherous for everybody.
well, it seems like, so in my experience being there, about where Fichter is right now, you lose banking up there. You see how the car kind of washed up the track? You lose banking, and you don't carry the momentum all the way out of the corner.
Like we've talked about Estevan there, how he roads off.
Yep.
And, yeah.
But now coming out of 4, and we'll flash to when we're on night 2 of the hobby stocks, we'll get you to where Max was making up all his ground was out of 4. That's where the speed was there.
He was doing the Austin Doe swoop. Max was.
Yeah.
When he was running you down. Well, it wasn't
Getting way up high in the corner, and I call it the roller coaster down.
Yes.
I'm going to pump him up for everybody and say he was running me down. I'm just letting everybody know. Lap times say something different.
Well, and I was going to pause on that. He was
Father-son rivalry.
He was doing the swoop and doing everything that I thought was appropriate to try to run you down. But you're right. He was not pulling you in.
He looked quick. I think he was faster than me in one end and not the other end. We'll get to that race. But both Speedens out front here, running 2 completely different lines.
Yeah.
And making up the same amount of time, or making the same time.
Keeping the same speed. Yeah.
That's all you can ask for as a racer, really, when it comes down to it. Not a whole bunch of dust.
Yeah.
The 13,
none,
I think that's the first
refreshing.
time I've seen him run all year. 42, I believe he won at McLean County. Saw him run there.
The legends, I think, are pulling out, or they just pulled out here. We'll get them rolling. Here we go. Bryce Barnhart's the only guy that I really...
Second row outside.
Yeah, second row outside. They were up against Wishick. Who had the sauerkraut? Is that Wishick or Lisbon?
Must
Lisbon?
be Wishick.
Look at that. There's 1 and 2 dumps.
Yeah,
that's right. There was that. So.
Every track seems to have its character corner.
The old banana peel, as you guys say. Yeah, that's what it feels like, too, because you don't know it's coming, and then, wow, I hope nobody hits me as I'm going around and about ready to head the same way. Now, Bryce was going off Facebook. He was somewhere in Iowa earlier that week.
Yep.
With Legend Cars, him and Jay, and they were doing things, and I was surprised to see that he was in Dickinson because a lot of people will spend a day or two to get home from Iowa.
Right.
Where some of us, like me, will spend whatever it takes to get home in one fell swoop, which is about 12 hours in green lightning.
I know he, in talking to him night 2, so just so everybody knows, I'm not trying to throw Bryce under the bus, but Bryce has come on board with myself and the Tough in the Dirt Tour to bring Legends to the Tough in the Dirt Tour. So he came over and we talked a little bit, and he said finishing third to the Madlers, the 800 and the 700, was a feature win in his mind. Especially when he was this close to him. The 800 is the white car, the black car is the 700.
He's right there.
Noah and Gage Madler, and then Bryce Barnhart sitting there in third. So
adding Legends, but not dropping hobbies or sport mods.
Hobbies, sport mods, and Legends is the plan. If we can work everything out with INEX, there's some logistics there. So Jeff Barta says breaking news. It's not necessarily breaking. It's been in the talks for 2 years now. It's just
with the Legends, you mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I was just going to refer that during the Tougher Than Dirt, there was tailgate talk about that. I mean, we're talking about it every day.
Yep.
About the Legends being part of that there, and the Legend car count is real. They have to be considered. I mean, their presentation, their numbers are right.
There's some logistics to work out because Legends race weekly races in Mandan on Friday, Saturday Jamestown, Fargo on Friday. I think there may be even a Thursday track in there somewhere. So there's just some logistics.
Either those tracks have to give them up or you have to stay away. Yeah, type of deal.
Well, just trying to work with everybody. I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
That's what I mean.
You know, just trying to work
Hopefully
with
they
everybody.
can take a night off.
This is an interesting weekend because not everyone committed to the 2-night event. You know, you're not seeing Preston Martin here in this race.
So they had that sauerkraut deal. That sauerkraut deal was Friday, Saturday.
And then the Beavers raced Friday night, but not Saturday night.
Dickinson was Saturday, Sunday, correct?
Saturday, Sunday, yeah.
And then Mike
Yeah, Mike was there Saturday, but not Sunday.
So the Saturday deal for the stock cars, that was 2,100 to win or 2,400 to win.
Okay, that was the big night of the
That
Richie
was the big
Jordan.
night.
Okay.
Saturday night was.
Oh, so Mike was in Dickinson on Saturday night and then was at Four Bears on Sunday then with his winnings, is what you're saying.
I think he was in Williston. I don't know where he was, but
We're going to get caught up tomorrow, so yeah. Something like that.
see, the Beavers were there on Saturday. They must have went home on Sunday.
And they had a little bit of an issue there. I don't know if they had some mechanical issues, but
Kyler?
Yeah, still 15 to go here. I tried to memorize the time breaks of where stuff was. I think Marlin is still in the lead at this point. There should be a caution here with
Quentin Kinsley, I think he got third both nights
I think
behind
so.
those two. And he's a runner that probably doesn't get as much speak as he should.
Like Thule is on the screen there. You know, there's Marlin and
there goes Zach.
Zach going by him there.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can see that Zach gets tight there, but does complete the pass. So,
and that's a brand new
signifying
Vanderbilt
moisture.
for the 7-car Seidler.
Because the one that he had probably was completely wore out.
I don't know.
No,
he just made a comment that it was a brand new Vanderbilt. So.
I heard that too, and I was like, well, because the other one was slow, where you would need a new one, Marlon.
I think that was a Gillette deal or something there. Want to feature in Gillette? Maybe?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what I mean. You know, Jeremy Keller, brand new car. Marlon, brand new car. Jordan bringing out a new car.
And now you take somebody like Frederick, and that's an older race car. I think that's both the same year as Travis's.
Frederick cut his teeth. Was he in the hobbies or
Soda Streets?
Soda Streets, yeah.
And he was dominated.
He is the chassis builder for the Stealth with Soda Street stocks.
And he still is.
He don't build many anymore.
Not so much anymore. Okay.
He's kind of done the mod.
Well, look at that.
Woo!
Yikes.
Woo! Are you sure Travis Hagen didn't fly home here and drive that 5-car?
I'm sure Marlon was looking at that. He's like,
that was a Travis move. Yeah. Like I say, he's got some dig up there, and you can see that there's still moist up there. So,
must have
my kind of track.
Yeah, there was some moisture all weekend. It was one of them spotty racetracks where you had the grip on the top, you had grip on the bottom.
Well, that's kind of what we're always aiming for.
Then there was
high lane, low lane,
strips of moisture going through the center, and if you hit them just right, you
really
could be
get
fast.
Because you can actually see some color coming in the middle there.
Yep.
But like you say, it's not solid. I can see some moisture there where you could cut across. So,
So what's Isaac saying to you about his new car? Has he mentioned it yet?
He hasn't mentioned it. The only thing I got from Isaac.
Well, I see that there might be a mention that he's going to race it here pretty soon.
Well, here's the mention I got from him. Hey, are you staying at the Clarion this weekend? Asking for a friend.
that would be Williston.
I think that means that I need to stay at the Clarion.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a rebake of the tour. You guys are on your own. I'm staying at the track.
Oh, well, Isaac, we'll pick him up and take him with us.
Yeah. Look
at Kinsley coming digging there in third.
Challenging Marlin for second.
Almost doing a crossover here.
Slides up in front of him. Marlin's able to
just about get Zach.
Yeah. It's exciting. Good racing. Like we talked, there's multiple lanes. There's moisture.
Yeah.
The high side where the moisture was, the grip was also had a little bit of character built into it. You see him bouncing around a little bit.
Around. I tell you, I think it's way more exciting than watching paint dry. So I'm sticking
share,
to it.
Can I share a story that you mentioned to me every once in a while about what Marlon said to you back in your young days?
Okay.
Because when Zach did that to Marlon, cut in front of him like that.
Around the outside?
Right in front of him.
Oh, Kinsley did.
Yes. And you mentioned that Marlon said to you one time, that's cute. And I can't remember the well, it was a deal of leaving the high line open when there's people running the high line. So, but yeah, that's cute. Make sure you leave a lane up there, though. There you go. When I saw that, I was like, the Jordan rules all are flooding in my brain. And obviously, Zach was faster.
Well, sometimes you can crisscross a little of them. They still apply, I think. Again, my bad opinion. Yeah, Zach did a nice job there. I mean, he got to the lead, and he was suffering with a car that was too tight, but he maintained. So
well, we got. Let's see if we can go back to the start of this hobby stock deal. Where can we find it? I can fast forwarded too far past it here.
That 10-second button getting the best of you.
Yeah.
So we're night one, and
Yep.
you didn't have a great night one.
No, night one was not the
What happened to you?
best night for the old Brandonator.
Yeah, the Brandonator. Let's talk about that.
That was your heat race.
No, this feature.
Here
Here we go. We're going to go green flag.
There we go.
Here we go. Green flag. The 5-car takes off. We're going real good. And about right there, it stops running.
Boy, he didn't get ran over.
I'm lucky that Max did. I screwed Max over on that start there a little bit.
I'd have put you in the wall if
I
I'd
got
been
it.
Max.
I got it started right about here. It started back up, and I drove it a little bit further, and then I just pulled to the infield and couldn't get it running again. With the weirdest thing, you talk about racing having its highs and lows. The plug that plugs into the distributor, the plug was in there just fine, but the spade wire, the wire that goes up inside there, whatever holds that wire in wasn't holding that wire in there anymore.
It's got a little tang on there that jumps out to lock it in there.
And
So the plastic piece went up, but the female spade stayed down.
Why would it have?
Yeah.
We
we
never had that off.
Huh.
One of them
So
deals.
it's been this close to failing for the last 3 nights.
Well, I made a comment to my dad in the heat race that the car just didn't seem like it was running.
Hold on. Is this the first time this car has been run since you went Duke Boys up in Estevan?
Yep.
That could be why.
Well, that's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Duke's Boy.
Yeah.
On the wall in Estevan.
Yeah, so that fell out right there. The fun fell out of it. I'm sitting on the edge of the car there watching this feature race play out.
And what happened here?
Yeah, I didn't, hoping it wasn't anything more serious, motor or any of that stuff, And
You were cussing because that's what we do.
actually, I was pretty calm. I was
not too
actually
bad.
watching Max there, hoping he could get up to these guys
Look
and
at
play with
Brenner
them
there.
a little bit. Brenner had a good weekend.
Third both nights?
Yep.
Yeah.
Able to make a
a
pass.
pretty nice pass there. And
Yep. Able to get that run out of turn 4. You're going to see a theme here. Turn 4 is kind of the run spot. Taylor Heaton, another young driver. Cody Hull's 69. He's been down at Dickinson for quite a few years in their bomber class, hobby class. But like Brenner there, if you missed it, if you got in them bumps and them bumps started taking you a little bit, you'd wash all the way up the track. And not that I have any experience in that because I got to race a half a lap.
yeah.
So
But nonetheless, you can see it watching. Now, let's just be clear on what we're looking at here. This is Dickinson. Now, we are watching from the grandstand.
this is
So
1 and 2 that we're watching now.
1 and 2. So we call this track from the flagman's point of view, which is on the
Yep.
back straightaway when you're in the grandstand.
Yep.
So that's how I do it too. But just so everybody knows what we're talking about, we just went past flagman. So this is corner 1. This looks like corner 3 when you're in the grandstand at Minot. So this is corner 1.
Yep.
2. The back straightaway. 3.
And
And
right
now
now,
4.
Max is starting to find his legs.
Yeah. See, he's got his own little unique corner. I'm sticking to it still.
Well, he's got this turn 1 figured out down here because he's able to kind of see how he bounces through, and his car don't upset at all.
Yeah,
It doesn't get sideways.
The left bounces a little, but the other 3 are nice.
Yep.
So
And he really, really benefits from this yellow that comes and then the restack and rack. And
Yeah, right here is where I think I get my car fired
look
back
at
up.
Ethan just shoot out there. Yeah, good
Yep.
good little. Yeah, there's some character up there on the moist lane there. So
This one, I think, we have a caution here shortly, don't we?
yeah, and if
thought
I could
so.
take you back to Dickinson, Mad Max's first only win, right?
Yeah, first and only win this year.
And he puts the slider on Ethan New for the win.
yeah,
So we have a little bit of a tango going,
yeah.
and now the two are going to dance in just a moment again.
yeah.
And I'm going to be real with you. I haven't even watched it yet.
I watched the first night. I didn't get through the second night, so I didn't get far enough anyway for tonight. But yeah, Craig, that's exactly right. I mean, it was a long summer, sort of, but you're right. The memories are as fresh can be from that earlier spring show because we got the same 2 characters at play here. So
Yeah, the 51s are out front.
yeah, at the moment.
It goes pretty fast here because I thought this caution came out. Maybe there's only a handful of laps to go when this caution came out.
I watched too. I can't remember.
I
see
jumped
the
out
lap
of
board there. What do we got?
7. I jumped
7.
out of my car here at some point in time and lifted up the hood and reached underneath there and plugged the wire back in.
And lit right up.
Yeah.
11 goes. Okay, here it is.
Oh, he
no.
broke a right rear.
Does it cause the yellow? Yeah.
It must. I don't know.
5 on the board now, so.
Yep, you might.
He might be sitting at the bottom there.
And true to your form, just like in Estevan, you sit and wait. You had 3 tires on the car in Estevan. And then when the wrecker pulled up, you drove away with 3 wheels going.
See, I just got it started. It's sitting there running now.
And now the 4-wheeler will pull up, and you're like, you're a little late. I got her fixed.
Fudge.
I wasn't too mad. I mean, I could have been a hell of a lot more mad, I guess. I don't know.
Well, at least the fix was easy.
And you had a front row seat to the race.
Yeah. Shout out to the Grinsteads again. They're the one that gave me the new wire to plug into the distributor.
What's he saying to you? Do you need anything? No.
Yeah, Napa sells a little pigtail. The whole, and solder that onto your other wire, and you're good for a while.
Clamped it on for right now. We just put
wire nutted it on.
Crimps, 2 crimps there. What did he say to me? He goes, "You good to go?" And I go, "The car's running, isn't it?" Smart ass Brandon, not in a good mood. I don't know what to tell you.
That's what I meant by cuss words. You said no.
I've been sitting here.
I'm saying maybe a little bit.
I've been sitting here for 10 laps. You checking on me now?
Yeah, a little late, buddy.
Well, no, he checked on me right away. He came over and asked if I was good. I wanted to get down far enough so I didn't cause a yellow. That was my whole deal. And
keep the show moving.
Yeah, there's no reason for me to cause a yellow because I can't fix it and go race again.
You looked very Jeff Taylor-ish sitting there out of your window watching the cars go. He used to do that when he was here building cars and finished his heat and watched the next ones come out.
See, now you probably won't be able to see me, but in the top left corner, I'm going to come running. We're parked way back there in the corner, way in the back up against where them lights are sticking out. Well, I come running up for the last handful of laps of this thing, and
this gets good.
Yeah.
You giving some sign language?
Well, I ain't giving sign language. I'm yelling and screaming. Come on, Max, let's get her done.
Is he listening to anything you're saying? He seems like he just does what he wants to do, and it works.
He does what he wants to do. He's a teenage boy, okay?
Well, he can't hear you anyway.
Right, but since when has a teenager listened to anything?
Fair.
Number one, I would have called him for jumping on this, but we're just gonna. It's.
Oh well, let's do the judge here. Let's see.
He's already up next to him when the green flag goes.
Yeah.
Part of that is though,
Hey, you guys have said if he
twitches.
Well,
a nasty push on that one.
Yeah, crossover. Like you say, Craig, we're reliving the spring shot here.
Yeah.
Brenner's down on the bottom doing what he should be doing. But the outside just carrying too much momentum. So
yeah, especially in these, we talk about the stock suspension classes here. Pushing up the track for Ethan New there. You don't want to break momentum with that 47 behind you because this is what comes next here real soon. Aggressive brake pads on that 51E. Do you see him sparking going in the corner?
I seen him shower in there, yes.
I love that.
See the Maxers?
He drives it right in there, touches him just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that part. Right on his. Gets her turned.
Ethan gets a little tight. This allows the situation.
And was that one to go right there?
Well, instead of the slide job there, now Max, that's where he's learned throughout the summer. Earlier in the year, he would have went for a slide job line on that deal.
Mm-hmm. Here we're coming to the white. Got to be.
Ethan put the. Ethan gets tight. See,
3 to go, so we're coming to 2 to go right here.
And Brenner's throwing it in there as well.
Brenner's watching. I'm here to pick up the pieces, guys. He's throwing you down. Wow. They're all a little
See,
bit
now
tight.
Max is going to get tight. I don't know if it broke. If we can watch the video here, if it broke right here. Kind of almost looks like it may be
a little bit free, actually.
Freed up right there, but it breaks right as he hits this first bump. It's broke right there. Broke the left front ball joint, unfortunately. Ruined a pretty good run for the old 47 machine. But Ethan New, great run out front.
Yeah, nice run for Ethan.
Yep.
He cuts that corner perfect. Well, no, it's still stood him up a little bit. See, looking real nice.
The narrow tires dig in there. It gives you a push through the
caught
center.
that hole, but nonetheless, it didn't change his gap. Rides it in for a nice feature win.
Max is getting known for his ball joints.
Yeah.
Oh, man, don't even.
The year of the ball joint.
Year.
I had it in Dakota Mods for a whole year. It seemed like 10. It might have been 2.
Mike Hagan starts up front, won his heat race. I think a Maddox won his heat race too, but
Keith won his, yeah.
Keith won his. He's sitting right there in that second row on this first restart. 35 laps, pretty long feature race.
Wow.
We're not going to watch this whole thing.
Yeah.
I just want to give Storbakken a little bit of praise on this because I talked about, the prison rules and stuff like that. There's one point in this race where Scotty Gardner gets into Storbakken pretty aggressively, and Storbakken is known, he's been a part of some stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to come and get him, and he didn't. He raced clean and got a nice second-place finish.
Yeah, he's looking underneath for second right now, and Jason did go on to win the second day, so cashing in his first feature win of the year.
Some big news. So there's a black 79 with orange numbers there, running about 5th or 6th.
We talked about the Wasota's
that's
IMC
a stock car.
combo.
That's a stock car.
Oh, I thought it was a Wasota Street
That
because
is
Billy Christ.
No, from what I understood, Billy Christ is driving Travis Ulmer's car from a few years ago that he sold to Billy Carroll over in Jamestown.
Okay.
And now
Chris
ended up with it, so now he's going to go from the Wasota ranks to the stock car ranks. But Jaden Chris in a Wasota Street is a little bit further back.
And Luke Krogh is driving the wheels off of this thing, and he gets up to the front too.
Yeah, Luke Krogh in the yellow 11. He came from Boone.
Luke was down Super Nationals there.
Yeah.
And
I
so
think,
was Keith.
I think he might have popped a hose or something, Luke.
Yep. I'm not 100% sure.
He doesn't finish.
Not a strong contingent of Wasota Street stocks.
Gardner, is his Wasota Street?
Stock car.
This is a stock car, yeah.
He switched that
I thought
thing.
the Chris cars were both Wasota Street just because of the name. But,
Yep. This one here, this black one further ahead is the stock car of the group. But overall, for stock cars, good 2 lanes of racing. You're able to move around. Maybe high is a little bit more dominant, but
nonetheless, Jason was trying to work low, so he thought there was enough there to make the pass, and he's coming back with a head of steam here.
Yeah, and he could have laid a fender on Gardner there, and he held off on that.
Yeah.
Luke Krogh getting around Southwest Speedway.
Yeah, he's pretty good at it.
Yeah, he's able to move around and do things.
He probably is significantly better than he looks because he's in the unpreferred line going at speed, so it looks like he might finish it off here. Oh, no. Black 79 looked like it kind of stalled out mid-corner there with a push, but
yeah.
But Mike getting his program really strong towards the end of the season. He had his share of challenges for sure.
Yeah, I had some mechanical just things that make you mad type of deal. But yeah, no, when I seen Mike was starting up front there, he was my bet to win, and
Your
it
dark
like
horse pick.
Yeah.
See, I think that's 79. I think that's Jaden Chris. He's the only Wasota Street stock there, I believe.
So. Well, and you guys are reflecting on this weekend. I mean, it's the Boone weekend. You can't sanction it. Motor Magic just had 3 days. I mean, I think there was plenty of that just needed a weekend off.
Yeah.
That one of those being me. So I needed just a breath of fresh air. So
there she is.
There the Lukester is, huh?
Tough break for Luke. He was not able to join on night 2.
I seen that.
Did
also.
I screw up here, or what do you want?
No, we're just making note of Gardner's throwing it in hard.
Yeah, here's.
Yeah, that to me is really a Mike Hagan track to a T there. So, and I think Mike and I enjoy the same type of tracks. So. Well, he got a pretty good sized wheelie going on there, so
yeah.
Scotty's in trouble. The train's going by here, so.
But he's throwing it in.
Oh boy.
See, Scott Gardner only able to make it on Saturday night. Some guys were only doing Saturday night because they had to work Monday morning. They didn't want to stay late on Sundays.
They want the 2 o'clock Sunday night deal. Yeah. I did notice that throughout kind of the whole.
But Chris looking
ledger
good in
there.
second.
Fugman
and Gardner.
Did Fugman give him the ride?
So that's what I'm thinking about Fugman too. He gets flagged for this, right? Yeah. But all race long, you're seeing Scotty throwing these things up there, and I'm sure Fugman was like, enough of this.
Bobby got pinned for it, huh? Well, I mean, that's certainly what our eyes seen, but I can tell you being on the track, like you're saying, Craig, I mean, he'd been throwing Hail Marys all night long.
Still at 15 laps to go on that scoreboard there, huh?
Jason ain't letting Mike get too far out here.
No, he's got his car set up well.
I thought Jason Carr was just getting better and better the whole month of August, and we've talked about these stock cars. I mean, they're their own little unique animal, and it takes a while to kind of get the feel for them. I do
to
believe,
go here.
So. Mike's got some pretty horrendous wheelies going on here, so we're the same age. Mike is getting a little bit physically wore out here, I would say.
35 laps is a long time.
Yeah, that is a long time,
Storbuck,
especially when you're doing wheelies.
He's giving him everything Mike wants.
Jason got some wheelies. Mike got big ones.
And again, Jason raced Mike clean as well too, because Jason knows what
Mike's tight. He is just trying to turn that thing with speed. So
Jason knows what you're just speaking about, Jordan. He could have put a bumper on him and give him a little bit more of fatigue.
Yeah. There's always a risk of getting your own tire, I mean. And Mike bites back, so so it's probably best just to keep riding here.
Don't poke the bear.
Yeah. So now, see, a lap car can really change the face of this racing here. I actually purposely watched the hobby stock feature because I wanted to see how the Maxter did. Yeah, White car kind of got the Mike nudge to. I'm a coming here.
Yeah, I'm coming through here. Just
you stay way up in the cushion because I'm going to be in the good part of it. So.
Yeah, here's the
Mike's
white
got
flag.
a rodeo here, so lots of travel on that left rear there. So she's all stretched out.
Once he gets it pointed, though, it goes in the right direction pretty fast.
That's good forward, that's for sure. It don't like corners real bad, but he got the job done. Nice work, Mike. So, Class 82.
2,100, is that what you said pays out?
I believe so, 2,100.
Yeah.
That's a good payday.
Back to the four of us here.
Yeah. Three
of us, yeah. Peyton's right here.
Okay.
She's with us right here.
It's Friday. Where you been?
Oh, man.
Don't go alone next time.
I wish.
The oil business, huh?
Yeah.
No, I mean, for you guys that went to Dickinson, it looked like a nice track. It looked like probably didn't beat the tires all to death, so that's always refreshing.
We didn't change a tire all weekend on our hobby stocks, which is not uncommon for a hobby stock. I think I mentioned that before. You can get but there was enough moisture in the track that you didn't even.
The no dust proved it. Dickinson, to look at the surface, it may look bone dry, and it is so wet you can't believe it. I mean, it's just it's its own unique kind of dirt, and what you think you know from previous dirt sightings at other tracks does not apply at Southwest Speedway.
Brandon, you mentioned a lot about the tires on a hobby, that they're just traditional car tires.
Yep.
Back to Boone, watching the hobbies, there was a fella out there racing with white walls.
So most of the tires,
they're DOT tires. So.
Most of the tires we buy, or some of the tires we buy, you have the white wall or black wall option.
Oh.
And there was a plan that I had, if I could have got enough of them, there was a plan that I had to have Max Beater have the chrome wheels with the white wall tires.
Sounds like a yellow 78 Camaro to me. Come on, Craig. It's a yellow 78 Camaro to us.
Just for Craig, when Max's car's in the car show next spring, it will have the chrome wheels with the white wall tires.
That is such a topic of controversy. If you buy a
I was rubbing the dirt off my left rear just last night getting ready for Williston. Craig's paying attention. I got to clean the dirt off the chrome.
White letters out. You buy tires now. You put the white letters out. It's frowned upon. The white letters out. Back in the day, for sure.
Proud.
Put them out. Shine up the chrome.
BF Goodrich, radial TAs.
Oh, my gosh.
White letters. I mean, wow. You can't take it away from me. I don't care if it's cool or not cool. It's cool to me. That's awesome.
So, yeah, I like the white walls. That was pretty cool.
I had full plans. Max's car in the car show was going to have chrome wheels with the white walls. I only got 2 of the tires that I wanted to get that had the white wall on it, and I just said, well, I can't do 2. I was thinking about
put
doing
them on one side, so it's a left-right deal.
And oh, well.
Right.
Night 2, Dickinson, the Sport Mods. I already got this rolling here. Justin Fichter started up front. The Canadians made their way down.
I was going to say,
Schultz,
nice to
Glosser.
see them come down, and they're doing their thing. Nice support. Dickinson's a haul from Estevan.
They were talking, I think, 5 hours is what.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So what is the relationship, Byron Fichter, Justin Fichter?
Distant cousins is what I heard.
I have nothing, so it would seem that there's something, but I messed up the Greg and Jeff deal last week, so we get talking about this and I lose my footing. So
So you're going to look at this now. I was up here watching this race, and I noticed something. Watch where this 24 is racing here, that second place car.
Oh,
right where his right rear is, there's a strip of moisture. See that dark strip there?
You're planning for your war.
And I was watching this going, there's a strip right there going into 3. See how he gets that grip coming out of turn 4?
Yeah.
I was
making notes.
I was standing right over there by the lap board.
Yeah. See, the uneducated, I would say, well, he's just driving around in that dry middle. No, there's a ribbon down there.
There's right where 13, right where they set it in there.
Yeah, let the left front off
And
the
so
ground, so he's hooked up plenty good.
After this race, if they'd have thrown water on it, that would just ruin all your plans, wouldn't it?
Well, it gets greasy on the hard pack.
It all depends
that's my
on
complaint.
Yeah, where are you going to put the water? On a deal like this, you don't want to mess with this. There's just a little bit of dust.
You've got 2 lanes of cushion up there that hasn't been abused yet. So
yeah.
I've seen Dickinson race significantly higher than they are right now. So that high cushion is got some time left in it.
Yeah, but with Brad's new blade job, which it's a great blade job because he's got this thing. I commend him 1,000%. Mm-hmm. The shape of this racetrack promotes 2 lanes of racing.
Nice.
You know, because you're having a kind of a smooth slick, some tack around that middle to bottom, but the top is right there. That 24 Derek Voller is right there with them guys.
Yeah.
Speeding the night before winner's coming here.
Yep, Speeton is back up there. We lost one. We lost the 42. We only had the 13 on night 2.
Well, they make no bones about it that their day job will always trump the racing schedule. So.
Ooh. I seen
Careful,
that happen
guys.
in real time, and
Careful, guys.
I cringed.
Look closey. Look both ways before you cross the street.
It would help if I had the window up here so I could. Coming to take the green, 5 to go. Can almost commentate this. Justin Fichter takes the green flag down the front straightaway.
Darren Schatz is digging pretty good too.
Yeah, Schatzy.
Yeah.
Fichter has been I think we talked about it earlier when we were discussing Estevan. Very high and low season for Justin Fichter.
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
I thought, and to just make a quick comment there, he's had some highs, and I think that will still carry him into the future.
So even after you're watching that middle groove, but the 13 seems just untouchable up there.
I'm watching Speeton in the 13, and I'm seeing that grip coming out. See how they're even? That Fichter had momentum, and then you're watching what does Speeton do underneath him? That right where Speeton is where I plan to race my race car in our feature.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's
now, if the
there.
moisture would have carried that far, I mean, there's a whole lot of dependence on that.
Man, that 4 is a launching pad right there.
Yeah, up high, coming out of 4.
And, of course, the 13 car realizes that there is some character high in the cushion there, and there's room for error.
Yep.
So,
but it's smoother down here on this end.
But the cushion is, yeah.
Yes.
Down on the end they're coming on now. There's that hole that got Max the night before, and it does upset some of the guys that are up there enough to let them lift, and that may set you up for a
Fichter
position.
with a great run here, though. Keenan Glosser pulling in here right towards the end.
Yeah.
But when Speeton hits it right on the bottom, too, he's good, too. So.
Whoa! Keenan come in there with a 4-wheel skate. I hope I don't get you. Yeah,
but now Speeton's
he's doing the high-low here, so
he's
going
doing
to cut
the high-low, trying to get
the cut across, and the gap he's measuring the gap.
That's the checker.
That was it. So, well,
maybe should have tried it a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
Well, he
did a little bit, but
he worked it. But
it was the last corner, last lap. I mean, had Justin got a little bit tight and had the lift or something, that could have been a photo finish. So,
but great job by Fichter. Nice to see him pick up a win here towards the end of the year.
Makes that long trip home not so long.
And now you're Preston Martin on the pole, whatever.
Yeah, our legend class almost.
Boy, it really jumped up, didn't it?
But you put him on the pole. It's like, what? Come on now.
Hood's latched. We're good. So.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I didn't get to watch this one at all. I Unfortunately, when I look at cars, if they're going to pertain to what my car is going to do on the racetrack, I don't look at the legends. So
He's a wheel man. He's gone.
yeah, out front.
Yeah, focused, consistent, constant, constantly hitting the right line, and not getting
So what
the
is
push,
this?
not getting
66
any
is
tail.
Casey Martin would be Preston's brother, right? I believe.
Yeah,
There's
see,
so
see
many-
how he comes in with such a
Yep.
nice arc there, just a nice
Whoa.
arc.
Because these things are momentum based.
Yeah. Yeah, and as we've shared, you don't want to even tail them a little bit. They're so short that they just, if you tail them a little bit, you are scared of going around.
All right, so what about this? NASCAR drivers, they tend to run small. The drivers, small
Yeah.
stature. World of Outlaw
do.
guys, Brad Sweet's none of those guys are big. Kyle Larson, a littler fella.
Yeah.
Is it beneficial or it does not matter at all? Because Preston Martin's a big fella.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you wouldn't think he'd be that big coming out of that little car.
Well, yeah, I've kind of made note of that too, that smaller structured people seem to dominate in racing for whatever reason. They do have a weight limit. Now, I don't know if it's high enough to compensate for a bigger build person. I'm not sure. I do know they have a minimum weight. I don't know what the car weighs empty, I guess what I'm saying. I don't know how much
Bryce Barnhart and Noah Madler are able to battle it out here for second. We're just on a few laps to go here.
So
Yeah.
if you're
Bryce
a
making
lighter
nice
driver,
corner.
you have to add weight.
Do the legend cars add ballast? They must. I mean, they got
I
a
believe they
minimum
do.
weight. So.
I believe they do. Last lap here, checkered flag, Casey
Yeah.
Martin. Or not Casey, Preston Martin.
Yeah, just locked it. Boy, Bracey for a photo there. Looked
Photo
like a
finish
second.
for second.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
guessing
good for
they
those
do.
guys.
If there's a legend person watching, there's 17 viewers still hanging on with us. We're an hour or so into this. Thank you for hanging on this long.
This is nothing. Who are you kidding? Thanks, guys. Adam, give us an update. Where you at? Devil's Lake, rugby?
Normal running order on a night like tonight. I'm not sure when they decided to run the hobby stocks last. I think they shortly after the Tough in the Dirt tour, they put the hobby stocks at the end of the show.
They ran them like that weekly.
I think Estvan did that as well.
Yeah, yeah. Brad stated that the narrow tires he felt they were hard on the racetrack. I'm not opposed to running last. I enjoy a little bit drier surface. I think you guys figured that out about me. Not necessarily dry surface, but a little bit more used up surface.
Well, to be clear, nobody enjoys the greasy racetrack. I understand that. And again, let me be loud and clear. I don't enjoy it, and I'm not in a car that should have to do it. And I'm going to continue to say that all winter long if I have to. I've went on my last watered down racetrack. I'm just going to pull in and watch. So
this feature here, Travis Ulmer driving the question mark car. Bob Fugman's question mark car.
There was some Facebook talk earlier in the week that Travis is going to hop in.
Did
Bob's car.
Flugman bring like a hauler? He's got
He's got a 3-car stacker, and it must have been full.
yeah.
Well, the black 76 was Aiden Clark. He brought his own trailer.
Okay.
Mike Swallers brought his own trailer.
Oh, right.
So
Aiden was in the 76 brown.
I call it black, brown. And then Bob and the question mark car were in the big trailer, the big yellow trailer.
Okay.
So Jordan, when you're seeing these stock cars going, are you like, oh man, I think I had something for these boys.
Well,
that car on the inside, that 12 car, that is a Wissota Street. That is Zach Frederick's previous Wissota Street before he moved to modifieds.
And we know that's a winner car.
That's a winner car. It's won championships and races and features
at
right
this
here.
track. So yeah. No, there are plenty of cars in the pictures. So
where would you be, Jordan? Where would you be putting your hot rod?
I'd be up there where Jason's at. I would be up on the edge of the cushion.
We'll go back a little bit more here. Give it a play here. Go back 10 more seconds.
Jason's got to race pretty hard.
Here's
for
where
this, looks like so.
Here's where Ulmer's in the lead. It looked to me like something was going away. I don't know what was going away in it, but
it looked like he was sawing on the wheel a little bit there.
Yeah.
Almost like losing an axle or something. I mean, it definitely freed up pretty hard there. I'm right where shock didn't come off.
Storbach able to get by him. But, yeah, like you said, it freed up a ton. He's not able to get the drive that he had earlier.
That's your style, Brandon. Travis has been out of a car over a year, maybe longer.
Travis is a pretty good wheelman.
Yeah, pretty good driver. Yeah.
Pretty good driver.
And Southwest Speedway, so I mean.
Yeah, and this is his home turf.
And I know on Facebook he was appreciative of getting the opportunity, and it looked like he kept it out of trouble. So all's well that ends well in those situations. That's a good deal.
What is Bruce Rudland's relationship with Fugman? Can he get in that question mark car?
Oh, I'm sure. It seems to be a have or bring seat, will race type of scenario.
Get Rudland in there.
Yeah, well, and it sounded like they were fitting a seat in there, so that must be what it is. They don't have a seat, huh?
Right.
Bring seat, will race.
Bring seat, will race. That's the same
pretty
story
cool.
for that Brown 76. It sounds like bring seat, will race. Aiden Clark, they put a seat in it so he could run it this weekend. Once Storbakken got in the lead, he was able to kind of drive away a little bit. Pretty cool for Storbakken to pick up a win.
Yeah.
They separated themselves early on in this. Them two were kind of the class of the field out front.
Well, he followed Mike the night prior, and Mike showed him the fast way around. Do it again.
Yeah.
But see that strip, I'm watching this race. I'm watching them guys work
But
that
how
strip.
long can that strip last?
It's Dickinson with moon dirt, man. That's
Moon dirt.
The moon
Yeah.
dirt.
It's worthy of its own name, that's for sure.
Because it's lived through a mod feature, now a stock.
Yeah,
feature.
Travis, we said your name. You ran a good show on Saturday night.
It sure looked good. Yeah.
The wild child.
Yeah, for sure.
Must have been the checkers. Jenny may have missed it, the old camera operator.
She's probably shivering.
Well, shout out to her. She's on the other side of the track all by herself running the camera while we're over in the pit side. Can't even really visit her very much, so. There's Storbakken.
Doing the heavy lifting. Miss Jenny. Yeah, there's Jason enjoying his victory. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Modifieds.
Kind of like the night before, just
Same three fellas.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what
Zach
do you
is
think?
working and chiseling, but
Any adjustments you think any of these guys made from the night prior?
Unless Frederick did him at his shop because he went home to his shop, he didn't make any changes.
yeah,
Maybe a tire.
I would say if they were doing anything in the modifieds, I would say they loosened them up ever so little because they were tight the first night, and they don't look as tight tonight. So, and I think the track looks as moist tonight as it was.
I think there was
the night
actually
before.
a little bit more moisture in it. You see when Frederick,
See how they're arcing the corners nicely there. They don't have the front wheels pushing up the corner.
The night prior,
Marlon
Zach
pushed
was on.
ever so slightly there, but
Zach was riding the top the night prior. Now Marlon's kind of saying,
yeah, I'm
"You're
gonna
not
do
getting
that.
this from me."
He's forcing Zach to go low to try to do something, but Marlon also knows that didn't work for him the night before. So
Marlon basically said, I'm going to race up here, and if somebody passes me, so be it.
yeah.
I'll adjust after that.
Yeah, for as long as I don't push, I'm probably in the right
These
lane.
guys ran green to checkered.
Chassis talk again. You know, you see Marlon at his ripe age doing so well. You think more people would be saying, "Hey, I want to do what he's doing." Does Zach Vanderbeek, does he not build a lot of cars? Does he kind of maintain small?
I don't know.
I don't know that either. I'm so far out of the modified loop. I don't know.
Marlon might just be buying them all.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah. And then at the same time when we talk about the rage and the performers and all that there, I mean, there's a handful to choose from. So
Jeremy Culler doing that Jay McDonald
doing
thing.
The JMR. So yeah, and with success. So and you've referred to the rage as having just unbelievable success too. So I mean that's three brand names there that are worthy of your money. So.
Back to Boone, just like at Nodak, a lot of cars have the dynamic auto all over them.
Yeah.
I think Precision Performance was on every car down at Boone. You'd see them.
Well, not every car, because that was the Gray Ferrando and the Colin Hibden. One's Precision and one's Eldorado. I'm not saying there was a beef there, but that was kind of what we were
kind of sensing.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of street gang fighting there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so if you were a wealthy individual wanting to buy a modified for next season, like I say, you're naming off choices that are not second to each other. So,
but can you just call them up and say, I want one? Is there a waiting period, or do they just?
Well, I know you're not getting an El Dorado right now. I don't think they're even building them.
They're not, okay? I don't know. So I would think that if you wanted a Rage or a Performer or whatever, I would say now's about the deadline, because I would think they're going to be busy.
List.
I mean, Tim Ward's done so great with his that just that success alone's got to be 15 or 20 of them all by itself across the country easily. So, my opinion. So,
do you think Marlin will ever retire?
I wouldn't. Man, not if I'm winning like that and making it look like a Sunday drive here.
I mean, is he 70 yet?
I think
I would think so.
I think they said it was his birthday days before this. It's close. And the young lady mentioned that he was 39. Obviously, that's not true. But he gives so much credit to Bubba. That guy must be, like at your Hall of Fame banquet. He must have so much knowledge to help him that Marlin's giving him credit. I don't know him.
Bubba's a smart guy. So
I think the 7 car is his job day and night, so
yeah,
that matters. So,
Final feature of the weekend. Final feature of it's kind of crazy to.
As the tracks are closing down.
Yeah.
Was there a sadness in the air?
I think there is all the time. It's just like Nodak, Motor Magic. When I went up front with Nick, and I was like, Nick, I'm sad. This weekend, Aaron, I don't get a microphone this weekend, but I'm sure I'll jump on the air at some point in time with them guys with a wireless mic or whatever. But just kind of when you're closing out all these racetracks week after week after week, I don't want to call it sad. It's
going to be a gigantic break, and life happens, so you just never know. The next year hasn't started till it starts, and sometimes challenges become.
So the Beater brothers side by side.
Yeah.
Row 2.
Row 2. If I had to pick a spot to start, it would have been row. I don't like being on the front row. I like to see where people are racing.
Yeah.
Did you look over at Max at all?
I'm a second row inside guy.
I didn't. He does his own thing. I can't tell him what he's doing. I mean, I look over at him, but
he's looking ahead.
He was warming up his tires and goosing the throttle, making sure, because he has Grinstead's carburetor. So that's Grinstead helped fix the wiring on mine, gave me a pigtail to put in mine, and gave Max a carburetor.
I think Max just gave you the finger right there and said, "Dad, I'm out of here."
You got a half a car on you. Well,
yeah.
Then you got the lane.
Well,
and he's going down.
We think we got the lane here, but he washes up, and I don't get the run that I thought I was going to get. So, and then them guys they're running kind of where I wanted to run, but I find the moisture there. You see that
right there? You did the Esteban thing to him.
You're closing the gap, and you're already sensing your advancement here.
Now he's going up top. He's like, all right.
Max put her way up in the woods
there.
There
I come.
So he went the wrong way for a while here.
See,
it
this
looks
is the difference of a guy looking fast when who truly is fast. So you're just doing your thing in the middle.
You're keeping the momentum on Brenner here.
You're keeping the car steady. But Max is hot dogging it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. The biggest thing here is you're trying to make sure you're giving a lane on the bottom for like Brenner, to go in the corner and make his corner. But you're also your goal is to kind of pinch him down a little bit coming out of the corner.
Let him get an eye contact of you, and at that same time he's got to keep his lane.
Yeah.
The etiquette is to not
grind
on you. So.
Like right here, I almost went up and started following Taylor Heaton. He'll pull out on me here. He'll pull out.
Is the 5-car feeling good here? Are you liking what you're feeling?
Love what I'm feeling.
Is the brake pedal there?
Brake pedal is fully there. It's
you're charging.
Yes.
Not coasting.
I'm not using a whole bunch of brake on a track like this because you can let it. Yeah. You can let the car roll a little bit.
It's a pretty round corner too.
Yep.
So you don't have to shut it down like an Underwood or a Boone.
But you see, the 11 car Taylor Heaton, he actually pulls an advantage out on me here.
Yeah, you're smelling that little bit of moisture you talked about earlier there.
Yeah.
Are you up on the wheel? Are you?
Oh yeah.
You're going.
See, right here is when I finally went all the way down there
and then
felt it, and he pushed
had
a
to
little
lift
bit.
there. The left side came down, so he might not have seen you there, but he's seeing you now. He is seeing you now.
And I was hoping if I got up next to him,
shake him up a little, get him thinking that he's in the wrong line.
Yeah.
And now force him into an error, which he got a little bit tight there. So.
And what's interesting is Max in the back, seeing what you're doing.
He has no part of it. He's all over. Well, he's kind of trying to run my line there, but
Brenner having a good race.
Yeah, he's doing his own thing, and
you're giving the 11 car sightings now, and that's.
And Max is doing the same thing with Brenner, just trying to.
And Brenner actually got a little bit tight in the same spot the 11 car got tight, so there's a spot there that's.
See, right here when
Brenner pushed a little there.
The 11 car started to change his line. When he started to move around and change his line, you notice he went in a little lower there. Now he's,
he's trying to protect his position, and he's actually slowing down.
Yeah, my experience now is let him drive it in deep. You see how I just lifted.
Oh, boy, he's a knot.
Yeah, and
he's
I was
way too tailed out.
At that point there, I was hoping he wasn't coming all the way around.
All the way around. You were going to get him with the right front headlight.
Yeah.
That tight spot tightened him way up there. Yeah, too much side by side. It's jarring. I'm not beating him up. It's jarring. It's hard to stay focused side by side. So.
And unfortunate for him, he takes a really good run out front here, and he's just going to overdrive corner here. And great job by Max to avoid that.
Yeah, boy, that was almost a right rear on Max. So.
Well, it could have been a front horns if you wouldn't have got her woed up into the middle.
But you got that ball joint on Max's car down tight there, so there's no concern about that happening again?
You didn't have concern going into when it broke. It just.
Yeah. Well, you had Mike over there with a reamer. That's a good sign. I've been concerned about the taper.
Yeah, we reamed it. So. And then this restart here, I'm always curious of what the mindset, I'm out in the lead there, and I see Brenner pulling up to the inside of me, trying to give me sightings. I don't know what he's trying to do. Maybe make me think. I didn't see anybody, around me when I was.
Well, and that's the chess game. I mean, a lot of times the yellow will come out and somebody will go shooting around the leader on the high line, just trying to act like that's where they're running. Maybe try to draw the leader up there on the restart when everybody's down low, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Go shooting down low. So.
And you also mentioned that the rules for lineup on the restarts were in play. Like
the Tougher Than Dirt Tour, you could choose high or low. Everybody got a choice. I mean, there's not enough cars here to really matter, but.
You didn't have to fight for your lane.
Right.
You may give up 2 rows, but you didn't have to fight for
But
your
Brenner
lane.
takes the lower line, which.
I think he took that. In my mind, he took it just to try to get the better start. Which he does. He outstarts me on this deal. He didn't jump or nothing. I look back at this and I'm like, what was I doing?
Yeah.
He just he outstarted me here. I went too high. I gave too much of the bottom.
Yeah, left too much lane exposed.
Yeah, and that's on me. But I widen out. Once I widen out corner entry here, then it's just a.
Max wants a piece.
Yeah,
he just shot her in too hard, but
he works that top side, gets them runs down the straightaway, and.
He comes in with
he's
80-mile-an-hour run here.
He's doing the Austin Doe swoop.
Yeah.
You're going to get tangled up with Ragloff there if he isn't paying attention.
Does too much.
He leaves too much open on his left for me.
Right.
He's too vulnerable there.
And I'm kind of doing the same thing out in the lead. I'm fully entrusting.
Yeah,
I don't.
You got faith in Brenner not getting you.
There you go.
So
I had plenty of faith that it was going to be a clean race.
Yeah. And at this time of the year, you know the characters. So.
But these guys here, these hobby stocks put on a show here.
I got
all year long.
Side by side.
So
it's.
Everybody's still pretty bunched up for 3-4 laps into this restart here. So. Yeah, they're not letting you get away. So.
And if Kyler were not in Boone, most likely he'd have been here.
He would have been somewhere with us right there. Probably would have been in the middle, maybe ahead of that 5 car at this point in time. I don't know. Here's where that high side, that's where you said Max is faster, that getting that run. The driver in 4th there, Aiden Paul, he's a young man too. I think he's 16 or 17 years old.
Yeah, I've been in Underwood.
And
we're excited to see him. So, yeah, he's He's taking notes too, so Brenner just gets out momentum.
Max
there.
wants to beat you. So
Oh, he's driving so hard.
He's four-wheel skating that thing, and he wants you. And the worse he wants you, the worse he's sliding, and it's going the wrong way. But it's hard to keep yourself in. It's hard to control
Well, when
yourself.
your dad is out front, I mean.
Yeah. And going to wear you out on the way home, so.
He actually rode with Grandpa. We didn't have the big trailer, so we had to take two different trucks.
That's right. So two different trailers and pickups. Right?
So it was Jenny and I in the one pickup, and Max and my dad in the other pickup.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have to listen to you then.
Right. Yeah.
And Max is thinking, I'm going to burn these tires up that Daddy paid for.
These ones here that he has on, I didn't pay for. A sponsor paid for them, so he can burn them up. But then he'll burn mine up after that.
He's going in on a skate, but in his defense, he's got position. Yeah. Oh, get a little tight there. So, but I'm with you, Craig. He wants Brandon bad.
He does.
He wants him. It's just got 8 car lengths between you. That's too many.
So, and that's what I think makes Travis so good. He knows how to pull back and race a little bit, like you always talk about, slow down and go faster. Because you're probably driving pretty calm right here, aren't you?
Yeah.
No sightings.
When I lost sight of Brenner, when I stopped seeing that nose on the inside of me, I ran super hard for another 3 or 4 laps. But then I started to arc it a little bit more, bring the corner, make the corner more round, pull the momentum.
Try to keep your ground speed
Yeah.
high.
Yeah, not spin the tires, not slide the rear end.
Smooth
as
as fast.
Yeah.
No jerking moves. Just keep it all fluid. Yeah.
That felt good.
Yeah, it felt good after the night before. So.
Yeah. Darn HEI wire. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, an easy fix.
But shout out once again. Shout out to the Grinsteads, because without them having their parts there, Max wouldn't have raced, and I would have been scrambling to find a wire connector to put on the distributor. So.
Yeah. Well, and again, that's kind of what we do in the racing family. I mean, it's nice to be able to help others. The favor comes back quickly, as we say. It's a thin line between a good time and a not a good time. So, yeah, Chris and the kids are fun to be with, and he's a good cook too. So
he's a good cook.
Me more than once. So
hey, who doesn't like talking about food?
Steak sandwiches yet?
Yeah,
has he thrown them out?
I don't know that he's been to Boone, but you could share the recipe. I'm sure he'd pick right up on it. He's a good cook. So
maybe I'll bring some this weekend. And a grill, that'd be fun. Roy Faldelin, Roy Boy's cooking.
Yeah.
He said Marlin is 70.
Roy Faldelin.
There you go.
Yeah.
Haven't seen Roy Boy around very often.
He's been to the Supernationals many times. We shared a big mug one night.
Yeah.
he'll probably comment.
Roy Boy.
Yes, the years go by quick. No, Dickinson looked like a good time. Like I say, I got some outside work I've got to get done, as I'm going to do next weekend. My little dream shop is going to, I think, actually get a wall put up and a ceiling put up next week. So I got to skip the Stampede, but Oktoberfest is still on the list with Dilly Bar. So Dilly Bar is going to come up to Williston tomorrow. I guess I'm probably getting ahead of myself. We've got upcoming events, but.
Well, I was going to say, we can roll into that, but let's roll this commercial.
Yeah.
This green corn? Green corn again here.
Come on, guys. I'm riding you a little here.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
On your coverage, just from earlier footage, how green everything looked in Dickinson, and then just at this last show, you can see that
fall colors.
They're starting to take over.
Around. The green grass isn't so green.
Yeah, thank you to Texas Red Enterprises, the Beavers, Justin and Jeff.
Yeah.
For bringing us our upcoming schedule.
Yeah, I'm still pushing for a little current corn there. We had a still shot
photo
last time. Side note, and I'm going to get together with Jeff and Justin, and I'm going to up my corn game in my garden, because I got some sweet corn, but it didn't get real tall. I only got about shoulder tall is all it got. There
this was from last week.
Yeah, see. So my personal, I had about 100 corn planted or whatever, and the darn deer reached over my fence and cleaned me out in one evening. This is the second year in a row. So
Getting a bigger fence?
Yeah, so I got a friend in the fencing business. I had him over today, and he's lining me up, and we're gonna see what this is gonna require, but it's game on with the deer. They've got me twice. So Jeff and Justin, if you want to do a little homegrown little segment, I can do different plots in my garden. Is what I'm saying. If you want to get a real amateur growing opinion, I can do it. So
the Beavers. I'm guessing the Beavers will be over in Williston.
I would think that's pretty close to their backyard, so they should be there. Upcoming event, we got Williston and fall roundup. Weather has beat the fall roundup up bad in the last few years. The weather is not going to beat it up this year. At least it's not in the forecast. So it is. It's warm, it's sunny, and it's blue skies, which is going to be tough for the track crew. They start at 7 o'clock on Saturday and 5 o'clock on Sunday. They've got the late models there both days, so Dilly Bar will be in the house.
But that sun's dropping quick.
Well, at 5 o'clock it ain't quick enough for Sunday. They were doing a pair of 7s. They apparently got pressure to move the starting date up on Sunday, and I understand that. But the forecast is actually 87 degrees on Sunday. We just come off Motor Magic. That is miserable for the track crew. But they'll do what they can do with what they got. Again, they got late models there, and that's tough on the track too. But it's going to be exciting. Again, weather is on their side.
Is Dilly coming to race?
And Dilly's coming with, yep. The 28 car will be in the house. So
I laughed.
Nicole will be with, so we'll have some, we'll have the brains of the operation there.
My concern,
Dilly Bar.
My concern is, you're taking all his advice. Has he purchased some chrome wheels for the late model?
Well, they run aluminum, so no.
They all kind of look chrome. They're just aluminum.
They're kind of a satin aluminum, but Dad's got Washburn auto body. Maybe we should put a push on Dilly Bar to polish them. That would look good.
I could come over with a can
Let's do it, Dilly.
Chrome
Let's polish.
paint.
a little chrome in a can. Well, because Ed's got the body shop, I think we should push Dilly to polish his wheels.
And are they running Hoosiers?
Yep,
they do. Yep.
Does Hoosiers make a white wall?
Well, they make white letters.
A late model with white wall tires.
Yeah.
That's cutting edge.
You heard it here first, Dylan. If you can't get it done this weekend, you got a little time.
Maybe some moon rims. Mud
Yeah.
plugs, some moon mud plugs.
Could get some hubcaps in there. See, trendsetter. We got to get NBI on that. She'll make it happen.
57 Chevy fins on the back. Really good.
Oh, yeah, that'll get his dad excited for sure. So
two nights.
Two full
Saturday,
shows.
Sunday.
2 full shows. That's important to me and a lot of people. So
late models.
Be 2 features like your Dickinson deal. So and two two full nights of late models. Again, the weather is beautiful for the 3rd week in September.
And you aren't racing.
I am not. I'm camera operator.
You're cameraman?
Max, Peyton, and Jenny will be in Grand Forks all weekend. Doing the bowling thing.
We will have no representation out of your garage.
No. So Max
on the track.
Not there. Jenny not there. Peyton not there. So the bush lights are going down.
The Clarion is calling my name, Isaac.
I heard Hot Sauce making arrangements already. So I'm going to hide from you. I'm going to do my best anyway.
I'm going to send Mike Tomlinson over to get you. We'll get you to the Clarion.
Yeah, well, Dilly will be there. I'll be surrounded by bad influences. So, yeah.
Brandon came all the way
Sunday.
to
We got to pay
Foxhole.
attention.
He came all the way from Minot to Foxhole to see you.
Yeah,
so
I know it. Yeah, we got to do another one of them.
Well, it all depends on if Nick and I ride together. I could see I'm going to use the excuse of I'm going to take Nick to the hotel and then I'll just disappear for the night and nobody will see me.
Yeah, but your phone don't lie though. We'll find you. Oh dang.
Yeah, so I don't know if Brock's going to be there or not. I guess we should have asked him when he was here earlier.
He was here. We didn't ask.
I did not ask. He has not unloaded anything. I'm guessing he's not coming.
Yeah.
Because the trailer basically has not moved since he got home from Boone.
Yeah, I bet.
He is so far behind on work after being gone 9 days. I think. Yeah.
Or it's so perfect and good that he's like, don't touch it. We'll unload and go run with what we got.
Adam said he's going, so obviously bringing Harper home, so we'll have Harper with. So that'll be good. Without Peyton and Jenny, that might be a little tougher, but we'll keep her busy. Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm excited. I'm not excited. The last Darn TV broadcast of the weekend is this week, or of the summer.
This is it, huh?
Of 2023
You
is
don't
this
have
weekend.
Oktoberfest. You don't have Stampede, so yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, the end is in sight, guys. Ready or not. So, but yeah, I think Williston's got a neat schedule. They say you got late models there. It'll be good for Williston's been struck with weather, so it'd be nice to have
They haven't had
warm
a good
weather
week.
and no threat of rain. That's what the forecast is. No threat of rain.
Yeah,
Looks
they
like
haven't.
we're gonna rain next week.
They haven't had like a good week to prep a track or to get things ready. They've made some big swings back and forth.
Yeah.
Some of it's been weather related and
some of that learning curve. And it just feels like it's all going to gel and come out right this week.
I hope so. I feel
I
it
think the
will.
powers that be are kind of
Yep.
knocking the edges off and going to run down the middle with their
I think
thinkings.
if I was a driver, I would just take Williston off of my schedule. I would just avoid it.
Because of the
Why is
weather or
that?
what?
Travis Hagen,
Oh,
Brady Biella, Mad Mike,
Yeah.
the Flories.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just too much.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, but in order to
there's
be
no
the-
lack of competition. That's a fact.
in
so.
order to be the best, you have to beat the best.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you mark that one on the schedule to go over there and do what you
Yeah.
can do.
Yeah, say what you will, but there's no lack of competition at any
No.
of our racetracks. And
I think if Tim Ward was passing through, he'd be like, we'll leave that one alone.
yeah, well, he'd only be human because there's nothing easy about Williston. So,
Fear the rear. Do you got one for the weekend?
I do have a fear of the rear, and I've kind of played on this a little bit about the family aspect in racing. But if you think about this weekend, Travis Hagen swinging it down in Boone, and his daddy up in Southwest getting a win. Beautiful.
Happened at the same time. The weird part was is
yeah,
the
they're
modified
running the
feature.
Same time, aren't
The
they?
modified
Yeah.
feature was out there. The stock car feature was out there.
800 miles apart.
800 miles apart.
So the father-son thing is just going strong. Look at you, 1-2. How that?
I'm pretty excited about that one.
That was pretty cool.
I think if Max was ahead of me, I'd probably be more excited to finish second to him. But
Yeah,
Yeah, the
you'd
family
have
thing.
gave him a bumper.
oh yeah,
I might have been swinging so hard at you. But I just love the father-son aspect. It's so neat to see it just getting passed down. Travis Tooley, his daddy, the Weekend Warrior, Jay Tooley, passing the torch on to him. Justin and Jeff Bieber, it just keeps going on and on.
the Weekend Warrior. That's a nickname I haven't heard. I mean,
Yeah.
Ricky Alvarado has it. WW1
Yeah.
Weekend Warrior 1, but
But we grew up on it with Jay.
yeah,
So
that's something I haven't heard in a long
mid
time.
'80s, late model stuff. Had the wedge trailer,
Yeah.
the wedge truck, and
That was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was say it's hard to believe that 40 years ago, but yeah, it's pushing 40 years ago. That is hard to believe. No, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that there. For me, I can't give enough emphasis to the guys that went to Boone. That is a major, major commitment. It's a 9 days away from life. Many people are self-employed. Adam, Brock, everybody is. And right now, when you live in North Dakota and you know cold weather's coming, this is busy time.
Yep.
It's way too busy to go play games in Boone. But they did it, and for that, I appreciate it. I'm excited for the guys that were able to do well, and I'm excited that everybody come home in one piece. There was challenges, there always will be, but we had a lot of representation from what I'll call our 3-4 tracks in this corner of the state, and I'm proud of them. I've been there. Age has got the best of me. I don't know that I'll ever make it back, but I've got nothing but the utmost of respect for those guys that have done it. And to come home with some results it will be lifetime stories.
Proud
I'm
of the
excited
group.
for them.
Proud of the group that went down there as well.
And again to reflect
Yeah.
on you having a nice run there second night in Dickinson, and you and Max enjoying a 1-2 punch there. That's cool too. Yep.
Mine was Storbakken. Getting second to Mike on
And
night one.
I was going to touch on Jason too, is getting his second to
Fearing-
Mike's first night and picking up his first feature win. Jason's worked hard on the Williston scene, and sometimes all that hard work is nice to top it off with a victory circle visit. So I meant to touch on Jason too. So thank you.
All good fear the rear moments. Dome Talk. Where are we at on Dome Talk?
Dome Talk.
Other than Boone stealing our thunder a little bit.
Yeah. I think they're listening to us and getting ideas.
Dome Talk needs to ramp up now that we're seeing the colors start changing and the chill in the air.
We need Hulberg on a show.
The vitality of it is real now because, like I say, it's crispy in the morning. It's starting to get crispy at night now. All I've got is that Karen has stepped up and is going to draw up a design. They're busy harvesting, so we're going to give a little, human time element here. But I would say in a week or two we should have some kind of sketchings that we could start sharing. And
some sort of picture needs to be sent to me so I can bring it on the show.
I like the Nick factor. We got to get the fourth chair in here.
We need to get Nick. We need slide this over. Nick, come on here.
We need eye contact so we can see exactly how the story's going here. Again, guys, it's a township meeting, so I keep beating that horse, but we got to go over that hoop.
And actually, another fear the rear right there, Nick Holberg going down to Boone again and representing.
Oh God,
absolutely.
yeah. Let's stop. I mean, Adam Pappen did a great write-up on him going down there, and of course Nick's energy delivers. Good job, Nick. Wow.
Great job by Nick capturing all the moments, getting the victory, or get the the interviews for the people at home to watch on Facebook. And
he's got a true natural knack for the interesting part of it.
Talked to him a couple times throughout the week. I filled in for him and did some PSP stuff so that way he could enjoy his time down there. He got sick down there, unfortunately. I think he missed 1 day or 2 days
Too
down
many steak sandwiches.
Maybe.
I know that Adam Goff had also shared he wasn't feeling so well. So, it's different weather down there. It's hotter, it's humid, and a little bit of stuff. I've been suffering a little bug around here myself here for a month, so maybe everybody was just catching up on that little bit of
you think
whatever's
about
going around.
Him going down there, representing us well, it only gives stronger credibility to the Tougher Than Dirt Tour.
To us up here,
the Dakota Classic Modified Tour, the Nodak Speedway.
Yeah, I think I'm sensing you, but with that said, Nick was doing the announcing. We got Byron Victor doing pictures and management. Tyler Hagen's down there doing pictures. I mean, guys, we got it as good as it gets right here in northwestern North Dakota, Estevan. I mean, we take it for granted, and that's okay. But, I mean, we have got
best of the
best of the best. I mean, that really
people.
is it. Whether we're announcing, we're doing the videos, we're doing pictures.
The Nodak Speedway, the grandstand, so it only lends itself to the next level dome.
Right.
Yep.
The Marketplace Dome. Everybody's. I mean, again, this thing's going to carry itself, but it's time. Christmas parties. We got schedules yet, or we got to bump elbows.
The wedding. Who's the first wedding down on the floor?
Yeah, Will's getting married, I think, next weekend.
Yeah, we're not going to get it up by then.
Will's going to miss it, but I don't know. What do we got for a window here? I'm thinking 2-year construction.
Chet Wrighton had a vision of the Hustfest.
Yeah.
Look what it grew to.
Yeah, they said he was crazy. It's an international event now.
Most people watching this are calling us crazy.
The truth is, too many of them are believing us. I'm starting to believe us, so you talked about things not being real, like the 2-track and Boone. I'm like Craig. I was buying in.
I was all in. I'm like,
it made sense to
me.
me.
What they're selling.
You know what? They may make a fool out of me. I took everything that they did down there with a grain of salt, just like we do the Dome Talk with a grain of salt. It's the Dome thing, though. If I believe there's a place for something up here.
I do too.
You may have to pitch it as something other than a racing venue, but still have a racetrack in it. There's a place for it up here.
We talked about
a multi-purpose facility.
Sports events, in the North Dakota Sports. Hey, the presentation might be a little bit rough, but I think the interest is really there. Condos on the track, Knoxville has them. People live there year-round. I want to live at this track year-round. I would like to say we're roughly at 32. We might need 132. We might have to make them 8 stories high instead of 3. I don't know. So, the roof will be way up there, but it'd be all right. So,
Keith Maddox said, "Holy boys, you're still going. Love it."
Yeah. See,
Keith,
how many hours into this are we?
We're 2 hour and 53 minutes.
Oh God, a late start and an early finish.
It's a Friday night.
People are going to think they got robbed.
Yeah, if it isn't a 3-hour show,
thanks for hanging in there, Keith.
We're not happy around here. Hot sauce topic.
We always look at you, Craig, because you do homework.
Well, we talk about motors. 10 grand for a hobby stock motor.
Yeah.
Chassis, how important those are, getting the chassis right just to get that additional spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Travis Hagen going down to Boone, moving up 59 spots throughout the weekend. We know he can move through the field.
Yeah.
But what's the main contingent factor for a lot of people? If you're bad at drawing the pill on your starting spot, it's hard to get up to the front. If Travis starts on the pole of the big dance, there isn't a doubt in my mind he's bringing that thing home.
I like it.
I don't like the pill draw. I don't like the heats. I like the qualifying deal. I know it might be time consuming, but put the people where they should be, not just on a luck of the draw.
Well, again, I'm banking on you to come up with a good deal, and that's a great topic. Now, in the past, they'd have time trials. And so that way you never had a soft heat, heavy heat, per se.
Yeah.
Where now the draw, you could end up with, it might be a 6-car heat, but it might be 6 national champions. I mean, it's like, oh, geez, okay, you could have picked me a different one. But when you do time trials, then everything is equal based on your qualification. The downside on time trials is that they say it takes too much time. I time trialed at Eldora in 1994. There was 47 of us, and we time trialed in 15 minutes. It was a 2-day show, and we all got 2 laps, and they were set up. And this was before transponders, so it can be done.
The qualifying that we do here, it's gorgeous and it's fun, and it really shows the speed. And
when we do the topless, it really is a moment to reflect on that, and we refer to that as how close the sport mods and the A mods were. Now, live timing will give us that information, but it's not something we bring to light into a public conversation. Exactly, especially for fall shows. I mean, you really. I mean, right now we're doing a draw straight up, and that may or may not be, exactly fair to everybody. But
I think that's a happy medium. The draw straight up thing, I've always been for.
I am
because
too. It's always earned.
You went all summer. The point leaders went all summer with that whole starting in the back of a heat race, getting up to the top 5,
starting in the back
of the feature, having This way you roll in there. I'll use, just in my mind for Motor Magic, Caden Appelt. I'm using him. Friday night he was there only one night, but he was able to draw front row of the heat race. Put him won his heat, front row of the feature. That rewarded Caden for his summer's worth of having a battle
deep
through
starts.
Deep starts. It may not have been the best show for the fans.
Yeah. Well, and that's the balance. So IMCA is trying to make sure that your crowd stays interested too. And it makes people like Travis Hagen. I mean, you learn how to pass.
And Travis Hagen was one of them at Motor Magic. I think one night he drew up front, won his heat race, started up front, won the feature.
A yawn of a heat race, but nonetheless.
Right.
So that's the constant deal there too.
But I feel that racetracks have to do something for these guys that have had to start in the back all year long.
I think it's defendable.
Right.
For a weekend or two. A given track has one special at the end of the year after normal points. So that seems like a small amount of time versus the previous 3.5 months of chasing.
Especially with IMCA
lineups.
Because when we were with Soda, go to the back challenge. We've seen Ed do it many times, and it seemed like with Soda, it was much more accomplishable to do it. Maybe the softer tire, the bigger motor to get Leo Burkhartzmeyer did it all the time. Go to the back, we'll give you a few more pennies, get to the front.
Yeah.
IMCA, it seems like it's much more, maybe the competition is good, it's much more difficult to move through the field.
It sure seems like it. And I don't know that it's an IMCA deal. I think it's just teams are just working at it. My proverbial competition doesn't rest, and everybody's just have gotten to this point. There's still a standout drivers that still can get through it. I mean, we got our handful of modified guys that seem like they can always still move forward. But when they start getting lined up, I mean, they kind of finish where they do also. So they can't necessarily get through each other, but they do get through to that point. Yeah, that is interesting. Now I know in reflection we talk about some different things. I think the Wissota 100. I think they do time trials in groups.
I believe
so. And I think the Lucas Late models do the same thing. So you are still going to draw your group, and you're still at the mercy of the condition of the track per your group of qualifying. But it seems like it's more earned than, say, a lucky draw, unlucky draw, and I think that's what you're referring to.
See, my argument sometimes when it comes to this qualifying thing is, do you get rid of heat races at that point?
Well, yeah. If you don't have enough cars to weed off a starting field,
and if you're concerned about time, the qualify. I think I would rather, if qualifying's got to take the place of heat races, because right now, what is the main benefit of the heat?
To give you 8 laps to test your car for a feature, get into the top 5. I don't.
Yeah, that probably actually sums it up. I mean, that's kind of a whatever unexciting answer, but
Motor Magic Weekend.
It really is kind of Motor Magic Weekend was straight up. So your heat
Motor
races
Magic,
did matter.
Williston, and so on. Your heat races matter. Where you finish, where you start in the feature. A weekly deal.
Mm-hmm. I think it is just a glorified hot lap.
For classes, I'm going to poke the bear on this one.
For classes that don't have enough cars.
If we didn't have heats, he wouldn't have gone Duke Boys. If we'd have just qualified.
Yeah. You heard me reference that we've let our guard down on some lineups. We're letting DNF cars get into the invert. So similar to what you're saying. If DNF cars can get into the invert, why are we having a heat? That would be the rebuttal to that. So we got to get back on track with that. But yes, when you have 18 mods.
Can I stop you there for 1 second? What you just stated right there, that's something that I will have to go back and stop and think about what you said, because there's a lot more into that than what I just caught. You know what I mean?
The DNF car thing?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Finishing cars always start ahead of non-finishing cars, and then you have the invert value there. But in the case of stock cars, let's say we have 11 cars, and let's say we have 3 that DNF in one heat. The first heat, which has 6, those 3 cars are going to start behind everybody that finishes. That's not how it's been going. That's how it will go back, but it slipped somewhere.
And I'm sure a lot of people that are listening, that's probably new to them too.
Well, it depends upon if they're the DNF car or not.
Right.
So right now with the specials, we're enjoying the straight up stuff. But again, that's a chess game of the heat race. You still want to finish. Let's say you bang tires on the first lap and you're towed out a mile, but you're in 4th or 5th place in a 2-heat format. You're still qualified. You want to ride that broken horse home, because let's say the guy that hit you did fall out. You're going to start ahead of him for sure if you can finish. So it may matter if you get in that invert or not. And we shared going up to the last points night, maybe you want to just do the top 6 in points type of deal, because they had been there all year. I mean, we conversed those values, and I think that is a value to that, even though most tracks did nothing, because that's safe. But you'd also shared that we would also shared the fact that you can start them straight up on points, and tracks that have 1-point races. I think that they've earned that deal, maybe, but
so
many things.
Boone
Qualifying's interesting.
You talked about the drawing in Boone. Boone changed something up. I don't know if it was last year or this year, but I noticed that it was
Adam
different.
Had shared this with me a little bit too.
So what they did was, in the past, when you went down there, when I went down there, there was 300 numbers in the bucket, and if you drew 290. That did not necessarily mean you were starting in the back of a heat race.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it used to be the first 10 numbers drawn were
was
heat
the first heat one.
Second 10 numbers, 2.
Yeah, 290 could be the pole of the 30th heat.
290 could be the pole. You are correct.
Yeah.
Now, I think they started it last year, and now into this year, there was 300 numbers in the bucket. You drew night 1 out of the top half, or whatever. They split the drivers down the middle, and if you drew 1 to 150 the first night,
This
151 to 300 the second night. You know, they rotated.
Yeah. They helped your odds if you believe you're a poor drawer.
Right.
I think Adam had almost shared it was almost like a 100 to 200.
Oh, it might have been.
Or, a 0 to 100, 200 to 200, 200
Stock
to 300.
cars and mods had 3 nights, so
3
that
nights,
would make
so,
sense.
okay.
0 to 100, 101 to 200, 201 to 300.
Because he had shared on his last night that he knew he was going to draw out of the 0 to 100 because he hadn't yet. So his rotation was that.
Because the sport mods, see, I only got this information from Brock.
Because they were at 2 nights qualifying.
So it was 150 and
151 and 300.
Yep.
So that at least does. Now, if you draw middle both days, you could draw a third row both days off of that.
Brock drew 147 and 158.
So he was third row both nights. Type of fourth row, whatever it was. But that allowed you to maybe have a good draw. Again, time trials on an event that big would almost be impractical. It would take hours, even if you did it fast.
In the big dance, Travis's time versus Tim Ward's time, lap time.
Lap times?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Travis he'd
be in traffic, so
right.
he would be a little bit stifled by that, it would seem. But.
And also in future years, how are they going to decide which track they're going to run the big dance on? Track 1 or track 2?
Flip a
coin. It depends on if it's raining or not. Because track 2 is going to have the canopy.
I see. We're going to have a dome track and the outside track.
Yep.
See, that's even sharper thinking than us because,
right next to one another.
Yeah.
Well, ours is going to have, like in Arizona and in Vegas, where the track is on a big conveyor belt where we can pull it outside the dome.
Cool.
And then winter
there
months
you
it
go.
slides in.
There you go.
Oh. Say, guys, I'm not getting any younger. Make this happen.
So
shout out to Nick. We got to get you in here.
Crazy thing is Tim Ward won that feature with he had the 9th fastest lap. How do I say that?
Yeah. He was the 9th fastest, but he won.
Well, on a single lap speed. Their best lap of the race, Dallin Murdy had the best lap, and then Tim Ward was 9th. Mm-hmm. And Travis Hagen don't even show up on here, 22nd.
He was in traffic the whole time. So.
You're talking thousands
of a second.
Oh, man, you're 0.008, 0.003, 0.003,
We're talking this much on a given lap. So. So the overlap is, but
to my point even more, because if you're starting 35th and the times are that close, how can you get to the front?
Good point. Yeah. Even though that's showing your fastest lap times, you're looking for that error on the guy ahead of you. He gets tight, he has to lift, and you can get in position.
And then maybe that error takes out a ball joint or your front right tire.
Yeah.
So starting up front is so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you want to start up front.
You eliminate so much distraction, if you will. I mean, because you got to use so much of your senses being defensive.
That's why that qualifying all week is so important down there. Getting in there, Travis and Brady missed it by 1 or 2 spots.
Yeah.
On that night one.
Like a 6th and a 7th or something like that.
Getting in that deal on that night puts you so much further ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Neat chess. Neat chess moves. Different tracks require different line of thinking. I guess the message is you want to understand how qualifying goes. I mean, it's imperative to whether you're a weekly show. I keep saying if you have 2 heats, it's the top 5 are inverted. If you have 3 heats, it's the top 4. So, if we have an 18-car night or more and we split that into 3 heats, well, now all of a sudden you got to get 4th or better to get your invert. And it's no longer 5th. 5th would be straight up behind.
You got that buddy that, you go to the Fox Den and Fox Home, and they got the pull tabs, right? and when we all have that one buddy, like he's going to throw a 20 in there and win 500 every time.
After you've been through 200 in trying.
Right, and then there's some guys that they never win. So that's what that pill draw is. It's essentially.
I got a funny story. We walk up to the draw booth in Dickinson on night 2. Max on night 1, he drew like a 7 or something. And I can't remember. I drew mid-30s out of 1 through 100. Night 2, we walk up there, and I draw a 50-something, a 70. And Max walks in there and hits a 9. And Marlon Seidler was there, and another guy was there. And Max goes, "Ho, ho, ho, I drew a 9." And we all kind of turned around and looked at him, didn't give him the time of day. We get outside, and somebody made a comment to him, "You're a young man. Enjoy that right now, because you're going to have 30 years of drawing bad coming your way."
Your 80 pluses are waiting patiently for you. That's true. That is true. So, yeah. No, that was a good subject there. I mean, qualifying. I mean, it's been a big topic for many promoters. I mean, and the bigger the race, the more the driver wants to know how the qualifying goes. So, is it group qualifying? Is it a pill draw?
I want to get creative, and I hope people play along.
How you do it? I mean, you're getting the top 3 out of your tougher than dirts, and then you're going up and throwing beanbags to figure it out.
Well, we're going for 6 or 8. That's what we're looking for. So 2 heats, we're taking top 3. We're going with top 6. 3 heats, you're taking top 2.
Try to keep the mass nice and straight. So
that's you try to find them numbers that make sense.
Yeah.
So you're taking 6 or you're taking 8. If there was 5 heats, we'd probably take 10.
Sometimes we've taken the heat winners and put them in a fast dash, and then however they finish is straight up. World of Outlaws, I think, still does that with sprint cars. So.
I kind of shook the world last year with the whole choosing your lane thing.
Your lane, yeah.
Maybe this year should be we don't run heat races on the Tougher Than Dirt Tour. We qualify. Just
qualifying groups, yeah.
Qualifying groups, just playing. Don't kill me.
Yeah.
What about
interesting?
If you got your lineup, you're going to start it. You got your lineup, and then at the very end you say, flip it, the entire thing. So the guy in the pole starts dead last. And it just flips the whole field.
One time during the Dakota Classic mod deal, we had the proverbial, draw on the computer. And I think there's worlds of evil on drawing on computers. But anyway, they had the wheel of 200 numbers, and then they would spin that. Hypothetically, it stops at 81. 81 was the new 1.
Yep.
And 80 was the new 200.
Yep.
So I like that because at least I'll be straight. When we go and draw on this deal, it takes your name and then you draw. Why does it need my name?
Ooh.
Well,
why does it need my name?
So we
can put my name in after I draw. I'm just going to leave it there. And I speak for a couple of us.
Conspiracy theory.
So
I can show you that there's 2 ways to set that. Most people do the name first and then you do the draw, but there's a setting in there that you can do the draw and then do the name.
I've never done the second.
I'll do it to him in Underwood next year. I'll show Jenny how to set that up the other way, or show Mariah.
Well, we still draw on matchbooks in Underwood on opening nights, so because I think that's foolproof. I was able to draw 29 out of 35 2 nights in a row at the Cole County the last time we had it, so I understand that.
Yeah,
I earned it. It was as fair and square as I could make it, so. But yeah, so I think electronics are just that.
They're weird.
They do exactly what they've been told to do.
They're weird.
I'm going to leave it there.
There's an algorithm in there that says if you drew good the last 5 times, you're drawn bad the next 5.
Yeah. Or 50. Yeah. I've drawn good. I'm not denying that, but I've drawn bad.
Do you do the $10 redraw like a Motor
I never
Magic?
have. I never have.
Motor Magic, you can pay $10.
I actually had great draws at Motor Magic. I was like, holy smokes, I'm going to pay for this for the rest of my life. And then reality hit on the last night, which was fine. I deserved finally did deserve a bad draw. But, I personally would make a spectacle out of drawing myself. I've asked for this many times. I've quit asking. But I would have a big deal out of it. I like matchbooks. I like short sleeves. I like drawing out of a deal. Picnic table in front of God and everybody. We open it up. You got a 17. Gets written down and gets put back in this bag. So
how about playing beanbags?
That's earned, but yeah, it's something. I don't like these.
Oh,
I just don't like these. And again, I speak for some of us, mainly my age or older.
It's become so convenient to do it on here.
It's not catching DNF cars. It will
right,
next year.
Right.
So it will next year, but right. So, dang.
2 hours into it.
Good hot sauce on that deal. I like that. That
drawing.
Qualifying deal. That's interesting. That again, I've shared a little bit because you've talked about that before. That may make or break my desire to go somewhere to race. understanding what that's going to be. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'll know if it fits my line of thinking or not, and that's important.
So to combine the qualifying and your thought, you want to take, flip the whole field, right?
Well, that was just
it's just a hypothetical.
Yeah.
But I mean, so you hear this out going into we're not going to do the Tougher Than Dirt Tour. I'm going to use a different one. We're going to use the North Dakota Speed Weeks coming our way to the Marketplace Dome. North Dakota Speed Weeks. Jordan's going to roll in there, and he's going to draw a number. He's going to hit a enter button and draw a number. And all that's going to do is put him into a qualifying group. And there's going to be 60 stock cars there. You're going to have 6 groups of 10 cars out there at a time. And you're going to go out and run 5 laps, and your fastest lap goes to
your qualifying.
To qualifying. Mm-hmm. Okay? We're going to lock the first 12 into the feature because there's 60 cars. So 12 cars, the first 12 in qualifying, are going to go into the feature. And then the rest of them are going to go into LCQs, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Last chance races.
Saturday morning boon stuff.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Last chance races, and we'll take 12 out of them last chance races. Whatever we do. 4 last chance races, you're taking 3 each.
3
we'll
out
start
of each.
24.
Yep.
But now, them top 12 that qualified in, we're going to have Craig at Marketplace because he's the title sponsor of the Marketplace Dome. He's going to come up with them 12 drivers, and we're going to play a game to see how many of them 12 invert for the starting lineup.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So one could start anywhere from 4th to 12th. And you play that game or however we do that to where that, just to throw a little bit of excitement at it.
To finish my qualifying in 94 at Eldora, they rolled a dice, and the one didn't count. So that was the invert, 2 through 6.
Well, this one here, I think 4 through 12 would be kind of fun if you had, especially if you got the drivers involved. You put all 12 drivers up there. And you played some sort of, I don't know, last remaining card or something. You can't look at them, but the last remaining card.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like a blackjack deal?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like the gimmicks. I think the gimmicks are fun.
I love it.
And fresh ones are funner, and you're always thinking, so that's cool.
Do you see where I'm going with that?
I do. But we're and just to reiterate what I'm thinking is – you shouldn't be defeated before the anthems are even sung. You know what I mean? Because I got friends, they'll text me maybe at the mod tour, Drew, 100.
Yeah, you're like, this night can't get over soon enough.
You're like, what? Yeah, you start last with Tom Berry Jr. and Tim Ward on the front.
Yeah,
but I think that's where passing points comes in.
Yeah, right. The tour does do a passing point deal. They do take the heat winner regardless, and that might be the pole setter. But then passing points, yeah. So some guys actually want to have a bad draw because they think they're pretty good passers, and Travis would represent that to me on a quick face.
The passing points, guys. So if there's 6 heat races, the top 6 are all the heat race winners, and then the next 12 cars or whatever are the passing point cars. However that works.
Yes.
14. How many did he go? I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, they were up to 28 cars starting. But, right. Again, a good subject. A lot of people don't even understand how the regular deal is.
Throw passing points in there.
Including some race car drivers. And they're just not there yet. As Brad King would say, I'm just not there yet. So, and I get it. Sometimes I'm not there yet either. So.
He just strapped the helmet on and went racing. He didn't know how to.
Yeah.
He would always ask, how come I have to start next to you or way in the back all the time when he was used to running hobby stock with us?
We were in Williston one night, and again, the top 5 qualified, and he wrecks a car trying to get second. I said, Brad, you were fine in third. Well, I said, no, your invert's the same from 5th on up. First, second, third, fourth, 5th, you're still starting in the same spot. Well, why is that? I said, you need to understand this. You just stuck your car in the guardrail and ruined it. So,
it's hard to understand.
It is. But
even like
that's
Nick,
what we're trying to explain.
I remind Nick all the time. I'll shoot him a text. If I'm not announcing with him, I'll just shoot him a text. Hey, reminder, like championship night, top 4 out of the heats, straight into the features, because that's information you want to know.
Mm-hmm. How many they take out of the B? That's like one of the biggest. What do you say? How many go? How many go? I mean, that's always a talk.
When I had the awesome chance to announce with Nick, I was all over that. How many qualify? So because as a racer, that's what I want to I want to know. Is it 4 heats is 3 and 3 heats is 4 and 2 heats is 5? And
you're looking for a lot of numbers divisible by 6, 12.
Yeah, and sometimes he's been involved in the Classic Tour again. That 6, 8, 10 heat deal.
Yep.
Because it all makes sense.
Even numbers are good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Although I did notice.
Although odds ain't all bad if it's a 9.
Right.
You get 3 threes. So yeah, it
divisible by 3-ish.
Yeah, 2s and 3s, something like that. Yeah.
I always pay attention. I always do the math backwards. Okay, they take in 5 out of each heat. There's 4 heats, so that's 20. We're looking for 4 more. We're trying to. You're always making that at Magic 24.
Yeah.
Except for Mod Tour, they go up to 28.
28 area. So.
And then when you have a Underwood one night, I think on the Tougher Than Dirt Tour, we had 26 sport mods. You ran all 26.
Yeah. Did your qualifying and then straight up the rest. So.
Yep. So I don't have anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Friday
don't know
night
that I
live
do either.
show.
It was a Friday night deal. Yeah.
Well, I got a question on the green machine now. It had a weekend off.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. Green car update. The motor that I broke a crankshaft in, I was able to get another motor back together in that car. I thought I was going to take that to Williston, but I think I'm going to hold off just because work got in the way and stuff like that. There, just haven't nut and bolted it the way I wanted. So I'm going to save him for Oktoberfest with a fresh motor. I'm going to go back to Williston with DBI 1, which is the red number car, and then DBI 2, the yellow numbered car, will go to Bismarck. As we speak, DBI is behind the trailer, going to get loaded in the morning. It's all in place, and Green Force 1 is pointing west to go to Williston, and I just got to put it in the morning. And
so you're feeling pretty comfortable with your program, ready to go.
Yeah. I'm a little under geared from Motor Magic there. I took some gear out of it just to make sure things stayed together. But the racer that I think Williston's going to be on the dry side, early starting, hot.
So
you
don't work tomorrow at all.
So tomorrow and Sunday is at Williston.
You got to feel pretty good right now about that.
Yeah.
Weekend off, cars are ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Best I could with what I had.
Your crew chief is going to be there.
Yeah, DBI is going to be there. Nicole will be in tow. We call her NBI. DBI and NBI. Yeah, it'll be fun. And Dilly will be there with his late models, so we can keep him off the guardrail. And he's had pretty good years, so I think he's staying off the guardrail.
I've seen it's for sale.
I've seen that there too. I've got nothing to offer. I'm going to catch up on that tomorrow and the next day. So
we know that Brandon's getting loose tomorrow night. If the green machine hits victory lane, it's a party.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I'll have to get an Uber to go to the Clarion. Dilly and I, NBI, DBI, and me.
It's all determined by whether or not we can find the right directions to the Clarion. If we can find the right directions.
I have no idea where it is, but if victory lane's involved, we'll find it.
We'll see if somebody can give you the directions.
Yeah.
Nick is super good at them.
Yeah. I heard you can get them at the driver's meeting.
Yep.
Okay. So,
yep. If you stand next to the right person.
Yeah.
That is must-see TV. I'm excited to see Isaac Sondrel if he's bringing the 99 car out there.
That's what it sounds like.
That is cool.
Is he going to renumber it to 12?
Well, I'm sure. There's probably not a whole lot of...
That's a great question. I don't know. Any write-ins?
I don't know if he's still watching or not. We've lost quite a few viewers here in the last... we've been rambling on about stuff. When we were showing the videos of the racing and stuff, people were up to... We were up to like 30-some viewers, and now we're down to 14.
Wow, they turn us on and off.
Well, when we start talking about nonsense, they're like, moving on from this.
Screw that qualifying.
What's qualifying is nonsense.
Golly. If I want to know that much about qualifying, I'd have read a book.
Watch NASCAR.
Okay. Well, some people are interested in this stuff. Apparently not 37.
Well, you need to get your beauty sleep for this
weekend.
Well,
it certainly won't hurt anything, that's for sure. It stays in one piece and comes home the way it lined up now. I'll call that. DBI 1 will be done for the year then. Then DBI 2 will pound on him at Oktoberfest, and we'll wait for it to snow because it's going to. It's getting brisk in the morning.
Getting chilly in the morning. Having to throw that sweatshirt on in the morning to go to work.
The leaves are turning colors.
And then I end up with 15 sweatshirts in my backseat because I take them off about halfway through the day.
Well, where's that cleaner one I have? I don't know what pickups it's in. It might be in the green machine. It's that time of the year.
Yep.
Don't need them when the sun's up. You need them when the sun's down. See y'all in Williston.
Yeah, see everybody in Williston. Hopefully
Be
enjoy.
a good time. 7 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
I'll be there all weekend.
Yeah. Sound like Hot Sauce will be there. DBI will be there. Marcus will be there. Wayner will be there. Wayne's last couple of weekends here.
Final fall roundup. I heard he's doing the roundup and he's doing the stampede.
And that's what he tells me is it. So I am going to save Wayne his spot tomorrow for the last time. That's going to be hard to believe.
It's crazy.
It's hard to understand. I'll have to check in with Lori, make sure everything's on schedule. So, but yeah, Wayne's got a couple weekends left of his 40-year tour.
Then in exciting news, I didn't think I was going to have a job at the banquet this year, but Katie has reached out to me and asked me to do the introduction of you Hall of Famers at the banquet. So I get the privilege of introducing the Hall of Famers.
That's a good call.
Well,
I was contemplating. It's Peyton's 18th birthday weekend. She turns 18
on the
day
21st.
of the banquet. And as bad as this may sound, I really want to avoid and not be anywhere near Minot, North Dakota on the day of the elections. I don't want to go there. I don't want to get sucked in to anything.
that would be the night or the 22nd.
Right. So I quickly did some planning and was maybe jumping on an airplane with Jenny and the kids and going to go somewhere nice for the weekend and come back on Sunday or whatever. I reached out to Katie just to make sure. I didn't want to leave her hanging if she wanted me to do anything. And she goes, no, I kind of planned on you doing the introduction. I'm like, I'll stick around then.
Yeah, that's only 5 weeks away, so
Yep.
I'm going to have to get my notes tuned up.
I don't think you need many notes, do you?
I haven't had any here yet, so I'm just going to have to freehand it like usual.
Maybe we'll have a table set up there for the Dirt Weekly.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Little stop-bys.
Yeah, little stop-bys.
Yeah. You know, like I said, we got a long winter ahead of us. We need a few characters in here to
Might as well
shake
do
them
it.
down a little.
I did it at the bank or at the car show.
That
That's
done.
pretty cool. So, yeah. We need to know what everybody's up to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we make it up, and then they gotta then they gotta deliver. So
That is actually a really good idea. Would the NODAC board be all right with semi having the banquet live? I mean, that I would think that'd be huge. Race fans wanting to see that.
I mean, yeah, it would be semi-live. I don't think we.
Yeah, it would be semi-live. A few live look-ins.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll ask them. I got no problem setting this exact table. We can set up in the back corner somewhere and run the wires over to us. It's, Jordan will have to dug out. I'll have to dug out. So
because that added a lot to the spring show.
Oh, having that and having people interact, it was a lot of fun.
For sure.
It kind of started what we're doing now. Okay.
Educational.
Yeah. We'll revisit that.
Yeah. Well, first Friday nighter.
Yeah, we're not consistent on the day of the week. I think we've done a Thursday, a Friday, a Monday.
You shared that people were wondering where it's at. So
I was getting messages.
I said they're jonesing, man.
Then you heard
we got to get it cooking here.
You heard Brock earlier.
Yeah.
We're looking for it. Adam was looking for it.
Know what's going
Again,
on. We probably got Adam back to Minot.
Things that you say, Jordan. I texted my wife. I was like, "What does that mean, jonesing?" I'm like, I gotta catch up with this.
You gotta talk to your drug addicts. They'll tell you. They're jonesing for us.
I feel sorry for them. Back up to 16 viewers. We should probably close it out now.
Touch on your Hair Nation music. You'll get caught up. Hey, Hairball, December 2nd. Dilly Bar and I are going. So
At the original or where?
In Bismarck.
Oh, in Bismarck.
Tina, NBI. Oh, yeah. Our annual party.
Not this guy.
Well, that hasn't not happened yet. So
Not
we'll
this
see.
guy.
We'll see. You weren't going out to the den either. We'll see.
I've been to 3 concerts in my life.
We'll see what your Saturday night entails.
Yeah, I'll get Jenny cornered. We'll see.
I guess if you get her there, I'll most likely end up there. So on that, for Jordan, for Craig, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, guys.
See you guys this weekend at a racetrack, hopefully.
Williston, for us. Okay.